Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we not talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Godfather is in you. Go see Lord of Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary.
Good evening to you. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. And this is Maiyegun Live. And thank you for joining me. You can share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite everyone that needs to be here and those who probably should be here, but they're somewhere else as well. Invite them and tell them that.
But one thing I believe we all have in common, Nigeria. One thing that we have in common, Nigeria. Ijo nation, if you like. I have never used Yoruba nation, and I will never. Because I believe that my Nigerianness is bigger than my Yorubaness. And neither my Yorubaness nor my Nigerianness should stand in the way of each other. For me, my Nigerianness is very important because I am more than what I should have been as a Nigerian than as an Oduduwa Republic man. And I believe that that should be the case for every one of us.
No, sir, that is not the case. You see why we should all get involved in what is going on back in Nigeria. The conversation, the politics of it, call it the debate, if you have any of them that is ready to engage you in a debate. But for whatever is going on now, the reason why we all must be involved is this. For way too long, we have been blindsided by those we naturally believed that as Nigeria is meant to be a conglomeration of all ethnic nationalities from every part of Nigeria who will never lose their identity. But we have been blindsided by different politicians who have been speaking for themselves while we believed what they were saying were for us. In the process, they have managed to be the opinion maker, decision makers, opinion molders, and all other things that are, policy makers as well, right? Everything that has shaped us into this level of conditioning that I call state of confusion, one Nigeria. So for far too long, we have let these characters define us, forgetting that majority of them were defining themselves based on what Nigeria is giving to them, their family, and on, including their businesses. And when I say Nigeria, I'm talking about how connected they are to the likes of Buhari, Obasanjo, Babangida, Goodluck Jonathan, Yaradua, Abdul Salami, and every one of those who have their own connection with their state governors. Name them, shame them. So when they give their views about what they believe, like Obasanjo said, I believe that should be the views of everyone. That whether you are an Ijo man, Nigeria is greater than Ijo. Whether you are an Igbo man, Nigeria is greater than Igbo. Whether you are a Yoruba man, Nigeria is greater than Yoruba. Whether you are an Hausa man, on and on like that, Nigeria is bigger than you. But guess what? Ask them to define what makes that Nigeria bigger. Then you will discover the myth. Absolute no substance, nothing to really back it up. But it's been like that for long. You cannot break Nigeria. Man, forget it. The people that own Nigeria, psychological conditioning. So that's why we have to get involved now. Not for our own sake, but for the sake of our children. Because guess what? When you have a country like this, an Ijo man should always, if an Ijo man has an opportunity to represent Ijo people on the round table, at the round table where they call Nigeria, you build a table and you call that table, this is table of Nigeria. So everybody must come to that table until any decision is generally accepted by everyone, interest group in that table, then it is not a decision. So an Ijo man that goes to that table must be going there with just one intention and one intention only, and that is Ijo first. Ijo people first. Yoruba first. Biafra first. Arewa first. Name them on and on and on and on like that. So it is now when you come to that table that you can then say, okay, if what Ijo want, Ishekiri want, these people want, those ones want. Let them vote on consensus on that and give it to them. If this is what you want, different from what they want, it shouldn't contradict theirs. That is what Nigeria should be like. But that is not what it is. Mental conditioning, something that tells you that the moment you say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, you are completely lost. You know why? It is about personal and selfish interest for anyone, including this Baba, who actually shaped the Nigeria you are all living in today, the troubled Nigeria of today. Obasanjo. They know it. That when you say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, they are the Nigeria. It's not for you. So when you now gain access to power through them, there is no need for anybody to remind you how you became that among others and who your loyalty should be to Nigeria. A myth. And since Nigeria is bigger than your people, since Nigeria is bigger than where you are coming from, since Nigeria is bigger than the millions of people that actually gave you that backing to speak for them, whatever they want becomes secondary. That conditioning requires our intervention, especially many of you who don't live in Nigeria. Because you see what I'm talking about right now? It's going to be sounding like, to many. But as usual, I'll do my best to break it down so understandably well for somebody who actually find it difficult to understand politics and the intrigues around it. That is why a Yoruba governor will come out boldly and say, the reason why I can't deliver good or the goodies of governance to my people is because I am always short. The reason why I'm short is because my hands are tied. I only work with whatever they give to me from Abuja. He knows that's a problem, but he also knows that if that problem is no longer there, if there is no Abuja to tell him what to do with the resources of his people, he is likely to do more, and by so doing, he is likely to be responsible more. Ask me why. A governor that will never find it convenient to scatter the executive meeting in Abuja simply because he is unable to use the resources in his own state. His state is poor. And then somebody else is actually extracting those resources and they turn them to Bambi Allah that gives them monthly stipends. But he knows that that stipend won't take care of his own people. They will continue to live in poverty. But he is not bold enough to throw shares, scatter everywhere and say, you know what, don't come to my state again and take any money. We can't live like this. The reason why he won't do that is because his loyalty is not to the people. His loyalty is to Nigeria, which is a myth. So they don't speak for us. What they do most of the time is to undermine us. And these characters, like I said, they cut across everywhere. So when they talk about Nigeria, you should always remember from what background is Obasanjo talking from? From what background would Tifnumbu be talking from? From what background would all of the 6 state governors in Yoruba land be talking from and their family members? Would they be talking on the background that you still have no electricity in 21st century? The region, the people that had television before France, the former colonial master, people who had television before France, in 2021, they have no electricity. In 2021, they have no good roads. They have no good schools. They have no good hospitals. They have no good medical system at all that can even take care of the scavengers who are also Yorubas, making decisions and representing Yoruba in the Project Nigeria for the past 22 years. Let's cut it short. So the same guys are saying being part of one Nigeria is greater than being part of a small country called Oduduwa Republic. No wonder many of them, when they had the opportunity, to build from what Awolowo started. Policies are what made Awolowo always memorable. And I'll tell you why. Policies. Awolowo is not remembered because of how many properties he owned. Awolowo is not remembered because of how many cars they gave him, like they give to your politicians today. They say, it's a gift. Oh, that is the governor that gave them the land. You know, Awolowo is remembered for life-changing policies that were not perfect, but as much as they are not really perfect, the impact of them are still being felt today. While those who succeeded him did everything to undo everything Awolowo did. Today, education doesn't really matter anymore in Yoruba land. If you and I have been honest to ourselves, all thanks to the likes of Obasanjo because of one Nigeria. What one Nigeria did to us. You will see people who are in their 50s, in their 60s. They will be telling you about the time when UCH Ibadan used to be like the King's Hospital or Queen's Hospital in the UK. The King of Saudi Arabia and his family, that is where they always come to for their own medical tourism. Then you listen to this, our 70, 75 years old, 60 years old Yorubas, professors, well-read people, reminiscing on those good old days. We used to go to this farm settlement in Oyo, farm settlement in Waterside, farm settlement in Ondo, farm settlement here, housing, local housing, cheap housing built by Awolowo for, all those things that brings nostalgia, like gives people some sort of a nostalgic feelings. They are now buried in history book. We achieved them because we were Yoruba people who could do whatever we wanted with our resources. We were not beggars. And what did the likes of Obasanjo and Co? What did they do? They maintained a one Nigeria that denied our children better education, that denied the poor access to the better, well-funded scholarship that used to be the things of the old. Unfortunately, most of those who got those scholarships, many of them, they stayed back and they've left Nigeria for good. When Nigeria became what it's becoming, when Nigeria started becoming what it has become today. Majority of them who stayed back, some of them who returned back to Nigeria, they went back and Nigeria either ruined them or they became part of those who destroyed their Nigeria today. They took education away from the children of the poor. They messed up the quality of that education. And we started producing quacks. We started producing educated illiterates. We started producing shallow thinkers. We started producing ass lickers, praise singers, and we started producing the generation of those who you can call scroungers, unproductive elements. And year in, year out, we continue to backslide and backslide and backslide until now, that when they say the poverty capital of the world, Nigeria, then you see millions of your brothers and sisters who are living in that poverty. 50, 60 years ago, that wasn't the dream. Awolowo and his team, they knew what we would achieve if we make educating our children the priority, not building mansions, not looting and building foreign accounts, not flying private jets and turn yourselves to saviors of the people you made poor every election cycle. No. That wasn't the future. And the future they ruined is what they have told you and me. Now look at that future. We now have the future where every year universities, different tertiary institutions in Yoruba land continue to dish out graduates on different fields who are completely useless, not to Yoruba land. I mean, they are not useful to Yoruba land. They are not useful to themselves. They are not useful to Nigeria because the system is built to make them never, ever to be useful. Yet, you see, have the Yoruba parading themselves as leaders and talking about greater one Nigeria. Let me break that down for you, okay? In case if you have no clue. The ruins and how much it has done to us year in, year out, they are in multifold that we are likely never, ever going to be able to change those they have configured in that situation or in that condition. And we need to focus on the generation coming after, so that the likes of Obasanjo, the likes of Tifnumbu, the likes of all those born liars and opportunists who sold us off, made so much money from it, and they are laughing us off. They won't mislead our own children too. It is very, very important. If you have looked around at the level of ignorance among the populace of the Yoruba people today, you have engineers who can build anything. I'm going for the National Youth Service. Oh, what did you study? What's your discipline? What did you study in school? Civil engineer. Wow. And then what's the plan now? Well, I'm going to go for my master's. I'm going to go for this and that, only to end up as a supervisor at a Chinese plastic making factory. See what you do now, bros, after your master's in civil engineering. My brother, this country is just, man. I'm just working as a supervisor now until something better comes up. I'm working as a supervisor at a Chinese plastic making factory, civil engineer graduate. They did that on purpose, to the point that the education these guys in Yoruba, I'm focusing on Yoruba land now. You know why? Because I'm a Yoruba man, and there are things that makes me proud. These are the things they have taken away. They've taken them away, replaced them with a myth that says I'm a Nigerian, and I have to accept that until I can say I am no longer a Nigerian with a proof. The damage is done. The backwardness, they were done by the Yorubas. They were not done by Igbos. They were not done by Hausas, not by Fulanis. But if you are if you are an Hausa man, an Igbo woman, an Ijaw man or Ijaw woman, you know what I mean? Wherever you come from, all over Nigeria, you see, our stories are similar, same. So just put yourself where I say Yoruba, just put yourself there. And whenever I mention Tifnumbu, whenever I mention Obasanjo, whenever I mention all these guys, you always have the same people in your own part of that country who made it possible for you and me to be in this present situation. But if you ask them, they will tell you otherwise. And they will tell you otherwise, not just that, because they believe in their own truth. So you can put yourself in that bracket. I'm not going to blame an Igbo man for why the Yoruba people are what we are today. Some people find it convenient, right? They said that Aguiyi Ironsi was the one who, who canceled the regional system of government. And then Aguiyi Ironsi was the one who brought one Nigeria. And I'm like, okay, that was 1966. And it was in the January 15, 1966 coup. Aguiyi Ironsi is dead. Who else are those who are with him? Kaduna Ezegu, who planned the coup, is dead.
Sardauna of Sokoto or Sardauna of Kano, Ahmadu Bello that they killed, they are dead. Awolowo that they, politically dethroned in 1963, well, 1964 precisely, that's when the Wahala started. Awolowo that they dethroned for that is also dead. But guess those who are now shouting one Nigeria today? You will see your brothers there, Igbo man, Igbo woman, shouting one Nigeria. But very convenient for them to talk about Biafra whenever they want to appeal to that, that open wound of Biafra on the side of the Biafrans. Oh, look at what they did to us in Biafra. Look at this and that, but it's a lie. When it comes to the same treatment, when it comes to underdevelopment, right? You will see the Yoruba man there too, right? And they are all shouting one Nigeria. Your brothers and sisters, some of them, they were babies in 1966. Some of them, they were not born in 1966. But today, they are those who are hunting down everybody, asking for restructuring, regionalism, or Biafra, or Yoruba nation. So, do you still think I should sit down here and still continue to blame Ironsi when Tifnumbu said Nigeria can never be divided? Tifnumbu is a Yoruba man. He is not a Tifnumbu Ironsi. I'm saying this to you so that you can know that, yes, 1966, some people did it. But who are those who have been collaborating with it, fighting tooth and nail in order to take their turn, since it has become turn by turn Nigeria Limited? Who should I? Well, let's come back home again, Jerry. They destroyed everything. And it is so convenient, yeah, to blame Nigeria. Have you noticed that? When they do their corner scheming and that boomerang, poverty escalates, crime balloon, then they will bring that one mysterious Nigeria, one Nigerianness that we should all come together and fight terrorism and fight insecurity and fight this and that. And then you turn around, you realize that these guys are actually mad people. These guys are making billions of naira from the blood of innocent people. How is that the one Nigeria? Completely fraud. But when you look around, you will see the Yorubas there. You will see the Igbos there. You will see the Fulanis there. You will see the Hausas there. You will see everyone there. Because that is the myth called one Nigeria. So if you believe in it, that is the myth you are believing in. It is unreal and you should be involved. So let's now talk about our involvement. How do we get involved for real? We get involved first by denying that hey, there's this thing that they use, there's this fancy word. I want to remember it. Stereotyping. I don't know if it's the right one. Stereotyping, as if to say, number one, you had a choice when you were to be born. That, oh God, I'm going to the world. Do I want to be, this me, just floating about? Then somehow your spirit just match your papa, match your mama, pick them from Igbo land, and then they gave birth to you because you choose to be an Igbo. Nobody chose where or who, let me say, where to be born. Nobody, no one. Did you know that? Right? So when you came here and you open your right eye, you see people. But before you even open the eyes, you heard them speaking Igbo. You had no idea what they are speaking about. You could hear in that your little infant mind. So everything else that you probably want to defend today of who you are, you came to this world to find out. That's you. It was after you came here that you found out. So, as an Hausa man, as an Igbo man, as a Yoruba man, and what have you. So, nothing should, because that is the primary thing of who you are. It was after that you get to know that, oh, I am born into an Igbo family. This is a son, this is a son. We have to do this, we have to do that. Traditionally, oh, we have to take him to the church and pray. Oh, I am born into a Yoruba family. Alaji Gabiru, Ekwewomo, Alaja Sikra, Ekwewomo, Longhawolo, and that's Ijowo Nikomo. You know what I mean? There are rituals that get you introduced to that culture, people, that ethnic, that thing that make you who you are. Nigeria is secondary. Nigeria is secondary. Now, if you have managed never to live with that fraudulent belief that, I'm a Nigerian, Yes, you are a Nigerian. I mean, officially you are. Officially, I am a Nigerian because that's the passport I've got. And their document here in the UK, see, what's your nationality? Nigerian. Document. That can change tomorrow. Yes, it can. And it will, if we are involved. So if our children are not made to be fantasizing with a country that doesn't really exist, unreal, that many people have done so well to make us believe in a lie. So if your children don't believe in that lie, if your children are beginning to ask, Daddy, what actually makes us a Nigerian? Say, well, you know what? The reason why you are a Nigerian is because you are a Yoruba. You are a Yoruba, and you are part of Nigeria geographically now. So whatever, if you go outside this country, you will be identified as a Yoruba Nigerian, but they will see you as a Nigerian. Okay? But if you are here, and wherever you go all over the world, do not forget you are a Yoruba man. And this is why we are part of Nigeria today. Be open to your children. Tell them, we didn't create Nigeria. The people who are part of Nigeria today did not create Nigeria. Tell your children that truth. Don't tell your children to rush and go on and prostrate before Obasanjo when they meet them at the airport. When they see Obasanjo, when they see any of these guys anywhere outside Nigeria, don't send your children to go and kneel down and and greet them. You are misleading your children. And this is why they are Yorubas. Those people don't represent Yorubas, and they don't hide it. Their number one job, if they are doing their job, right, is that if the Yoruba says we want regional system of government, it is the job of those who claim to represent Yoruba land in Nigeria, to look into that and make it part and parcel of their project for the Yoruba people. Perfect it, get people involved in it, and then take it up there with them. You don't turn around and give the excuse to your people when you haven't even listened to them. Do you get what I mean now? So you don't become Nigerian simply because you are elected a senator. You are elected a senator by Igbomina people. They are Yoruba people. So if the Igbomina people are meeting up with their Ekiti, and then Ekiti people are meeting up with the Oyo people people are meeting up with Osun people are meeting up with the Kwara people are meeting up with the Abeokuta and Ogun people, and all that. You know, if they decided that regional system of government is something we want to try, and it is your job to push that. It is not the job of the politicians to now tell them and say, we can't do that. We are part of APC. That is going to be really, really bad. So to an average Yoruba politician as we speak today, because of one Nigeria, it will hide under his party hide under one Nigeria and denying the Yorubas, the listening ears, that actually gives them the opportunity to say, this is what the Yorubas are asking for. I'm a Yoruba man, even if I'm an APC person, even if I'm a PDP person, but I'm a Yoruba man. I need to listen to their concerns. And in this case, we need to listen to their concerns. We shouldn't be part of those that are going to bury them. But you know what? Listening to our concerns, we eventually show to all of you that the Hausas are not the problems. The Igbos are not the problems. The Fulanis are not the problems. Fulanis that trek and got into Yoruba land, he is able to do that because Nigeria says he can go anywhere he wants. The same Nigeria says it is a crime for you as a Yoruba community to resist them. That is against the law. Then you have the politicians who knows the wreck that these criminals are wrecking, the havoc they are wrecking in Yoruba land. They decided to play a pretentious game to be politically correct because of what? Because of one Nigeria. So one Nigeria is greater than whatever the Yorubas are feeling, especially if Yoruba says, we are done. We don't want to be part of this anymore. We want to leave. The Yoruba governor will tell you it is not possible. Then protect us. I'm sorry, I can't really protect you. Federal government won't let me. Then go up there and tell the federal government to help up. We want to protect ourselves. We have the resources to protect ourselves. Go there and do it. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. We just have to make sure that we are vigilant. Let's just be vigilant. How is that fair? How is that fair? So I told people, I said, how do we get involved? How do we get involved? Everybody wants to be involved. There are so many ways that we can turn this around. And let me tell you this. I want to share with you what I believe was done that got the same people in Yoruba land who resisted independence, self-rule, when the likes of Awolowo were on scholarship in London. What they did between 1947 and 1954, something that changed the course of history until 1966, which then changed the course of our own history today. Getting involved starts with the type of people that are involved. It is not expected that majority are going to agree with you on how to take down a system that has limited our people, subjected us to the perpetuity of ignorance, something that makes us so kind of subhuman. People who can think about the next meal and not the next greatness that they could think of. Those who made that happen, there is a way to infiltrate that. And most of what I'm going to share with you now, there are some part of it that I'm not going to really say so clear like you would want me to. But those of you who get what I'm trying to say will get it. But let me start with the simplest part, which is also the hardest part of getting involved. Our people have been subjected to a very long decades of psychological torture that tells them that they are not good enough. No matter whatever they do, they are not good enough. When they are there in their college, they tell them they are not good enough. When they are there in their job, they tell them they are not good enough. When they're there out there trying to make a bit of a difference, they are told they are not good enough. A society that reward those who joined the fast lane, who fast track the successes that are pretty much like just films, films or smokes and the rest. The society that tells you that you are not good enough until somebody says you are. We can turn it around. So let's start with this. It is the simplest one, and it is also the hardest one. I figured out that when Awolowo wanted to get the Yorubas interested in self-rule, back then there was a governor in charge of the western region. There was a governor in charge of the eastern region, a governor in charge of the northern region, where Lugard was long gone. So which means politically, there was an established authority that put our people under a different rule, completely alien to them, that the likes of Awolowo, the younger Awolowo then, felt like if they didn't try, if they didn't do something, nobody would. Even though some people said maybe Nigeria or the Yoruba people being part of Nigeria agreed to an independence Nigeria too early. But that's a story for another day. What did they do? Awolowo and friends, fellow foreign students in the UK, in London, they decided to form a group called the Egbe Omo Yoruba, Egbe Omo Otutua, in London. The purpose of that was that they would be able to identify those Yorubas who live in London or all around the UK at the time. Once they are able to identify them, they will also be able to identify their value towards the yet to start campaign for the independence of Yoruba nation back then. It was an impossible task because back home, there were already politicians who agree with the colonialists and whatever they were doing at the time. But the likes of Awolowo felt like, no, we could have it better. We could do it better. So what did they do as well? In that gathering, in their first night, in their first meeting, they were able to secure 3 great young men who were able to guarantee another 3 great Yoruba men who are actually not even educated as much, but they had money. So whatever idea Awolowo had, whatever idea which included getting the Yoruba people wanting to be independent then, how do you make the Yoruba people interested in being on their own? How? You get involved in their daily lives. You need somebody to pick the tab. When I say pick the tab, it simply means when your messages goes to the people, when you decide to fund that local, when you decide to fund that community water system, when you decide to fund that community healthcare system, when you decide to give a scholarship to these different children in different communities, you need somebody to pick up the tab. One of the reasons why it is kind of so flexible and kind of confusing today for most people who want to charge for Yoruba nation. I'll get to that. Awolowo and his friends. First, Awolowo had the idea. He discussed it with other people. They gave their own idea of how to get started. And then they started looking for, somebody who will believe in their cause and will be ready to pick up the tab. And within 4 years, within a year in the UK, even those who came here to study, just study, they became revolutionized enough. They became revolutionaries that became the ground soldiers for what later became the self-rule in Yoruba land that can be repeated. Get involved. All of you Yoruba millionaires of today, some of you are millionaires in pound sterling. Some of you are millionaires in dollars. Some of you have done great things. Many of you are personally proud that you are Yorubas. When we talk about setting our people free, it is setting them free from ourselves first. This whole thing could have been half war. Let me say half done or half won if those who hold political offices in Yoruba land today, if they were there in the interest of the Yoruba land. But you know they are not. But many of you have this money. You probably give to charity, which is great. There are ways to get people on the side. And if you look at the modus operandi, mode of operation of these political criminals in Yoruba land, they rob Peter to pay Paul. And at the end of the day, both Peter and Paul are going to be robbed as well. So when Peter continued to chase Paul, knowing that somebody actually robbed him to pay Paul, yeah, the man who stole from them will be laughing you or laughing himself to pay him. Your money can be useful. Some people's money were so useful in the 40s when the likes of Awolowo, they had that dream that Yorubas could be great. Our people could live a normal life. We could raise our children educated. We could build a system that the rest of the world will envy. We could do things, great things, if we are no longer selfish. It is the system that allows those thieves who are stealing in the name of Yoruba people. Because nobody is stealing your money, my brothers and sisters. The little stipend they bring back to the Igbo land are stolen by the Igbos. No that and no peace. The little stipend they return back to the Yoruba land are stolen by the Yorubas. No that and no peace. Yes, the Fulanis are controlling the federal government, so they are taking the chunk of it. Of course, they are taking the chunk of it. Because the Yoruba governors, Yoruba reps, Yoruba senators, Yoruba ministers, same with the Igbo politicians, Igbo governors, senators, reps, and name them. They are okay with whatever they give back to them. Since they are not giving it to you, they are fine. So yeah, they can take whatever they take. If they feel like you have been robbed, they will be the one to first reject that robbery. Have you ever seen them reject any monthly allowance before? Have you? They gave them the right. So they rob you, not Fulanis. Nobody will steal from you. If you are there without resistance, without your consent, something will go down, won't it? Won't something go down? So you need to bury that. Bury it. The people who steal from you, they are your people. They can turn around and tell you, hey, see wetin Malamun stole. See wetin Diezani stole. See all the thing wetin Tinubu steal. When you look very well, that is them. They are taking their share. And they are not complaining. So when you use that your money, we can go into that communities. we can go into those different villages. You can plant the seed of Yoruba nation there and wait for it to germinate. Get involved in their lives. Get involved in their daily activities. Win their trust. Let them begin to see us as the alternative. That was why I said I'll be so grateful if Ilana Omo Odua and everyone championing Yoruba nation, if they are doing it not for their selfish interest or for monetary gains, which seems to be the driver of so many people today. You see, YouTube will give you money if you put content out there. Normally, YouTube will give you money. I don't know how much they give to you. I don't know how much, but I know how much they give to me. But the quality of what you release there is also so important to the people who consume them. But again, that is why I would want to see a walking Ilana Omo Odua, an umbrella body, where some of us in diaspora, we can then begin to say, all of you will get this money. Yoruba can use some of that money. We can plant the message of Yoruba nation in the minds of the people by getting involved in their daily lives. You can win their trust. The first power we need is the power given to us by the people, and it is the trust. So if you have somebody who is picking up that tab, if you have people genuinely, I'm not talking about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is too porous. Crowdfunding is too exposed. Crowdfunding is peanuts. If you are fighting a battle of change of order, so that when they wake up tomorrow or one day, there will be no Obasanjo to speak for Yoruba anymore. There will be no Tifnumbu to speak for Yoruba anymore. There will be no useless governor or any criminal politician in Yoruba land to defend Nigeria anymore. There will be no religious center in Yoruba land or anybody using any form of anything to hoodwink the Yorubas to hang on to Nigeria anymore. We are talking about real money. I'm not talking about donation. Donations are good, though. Listen, they are very good. They help us to this point, even though they have their scandal. Some people even said, you know, now on this Yoruba nation, me that I'm just Maiyegun. This is not Yoruba nation platform, but I'm a Yoruba man, and I'm proud of being a Yoruba man, and a Ijebu man. Yeah? And they said, you see that Maiyegun? On top Yoruba nation, the guy don't build 2 mansions for Nigeria. Because you see how porous this, we are raising money. Raising money to free Igbo, raising money to buy this, raising money to do this, raising money to do that. Raising money is porous. Crowdfunding is good. It's good. But it's not good enough. You need people, Yorubas, who have that deep wallets. They are watching me right now. They are shaking their head. I understand, well, but nobody is going to be stupid to open their wallet to untrustworthy people. I'm talking about people that if you do the background check, you realize that they are Yoruba nation in the morning, and in the evening, they are swagger, and they are just waiting to unravel. Nobody is going to open their wallet for that. I'm pushing this to you. That's why I said there are things I'm not going to say in order not to begin to sound like Maiyegun, you don't talk too much on that. We get what you mean. We get it. We get you what you mean. You get what I mean? Do you? Do you get it? We need people with deep wallets. Yorubas. Because we can peacefully bring the Yorubas to term. We can easily detach our people from the weaponized poverty which has made them to stay confused about Nigeria. They will tell you, what do you have hope in Nigeria? They don't. Do you think this Nigeria is still going to be better and what have you? No, they don't. They don't. Genuinely, they don't. And if for those of them who will tell you that I still believe that Nigeria will be great and the rest of that, ask them what gave them that impression. Most of them can't really say. It is part of that confusion. Even the architect of today's Nigeria, Obasanjo and gang, they have no idea what this is going to be like, how it is going to end, how it is going to be fixed. They have no clue. But taking it away from them is like taking away their life. This is the only thing they know. They can't. So we can take them off. Talking alone can't do it. Get involved in different campuses. I've had this. See, I have this great idea, right? So I went to Nigeria to try that on political level. And I got people. I got people who put together. Okay, let me put it this way. I said, people need to know that they have power. If they don't know that they have power, they will never know how to use it. And since they don't know how to use it, they will never be tempted to even use it. Let's show them. Me, Maiyegun, this Janjala Maiyegun, this small Maiyegun. On my platform, Maiyegun's Diary. I told people like this. I spoke to people. I made them believe that if we have people who are ready to volunteer and be part of this political process, right? We can mobilize, we can get our people, we can give them hope, we can tell them, you can do it. If you can vote genuinely without collecting money, that means you have won back your right. You have gained back that your power. Whoever you will give that power to, you will always know that you can take it back anytime you want. Ladies and gentlemen, cut the long story short, Janjala Maiyegun, I got people who put resources, that if you put all the resources, all the money we put together, that people put together their money, hard-earned money, people who have never been in government, never been in any politics, people who return from abroad, people who are in Nigeria doing their own thing. We were able to raise more than, we were able to spend more than 300 million naira. 300 million naira in one state, one single state, Ogun State, trying to get the people onto our side. Trying to let the people know the power they have. All of you know the story, Abi. Even people who brought their own money to join that ideology, to believe, I don't know how much influence I do have on people. Let me be honest with you, right? Because I've been doing this for a long time. I am somebody who can make you believe that you can do something if you believe that you can. Something that you believe that, oh man, can I do that? I mean, yeah, we can do that. I mean, yeah, we can. Yes, we can. Let's give it a shot. I'm somebody who will tell you that failure is not failure. Failure, right, is a good thing. It's a good example that you are trying. That means you are trying something. Then you failed at it. I am somebody that can make you believe that. So I made people believe that, well-to-do people, they love that experiment. They went into it. But unfortunately, Nigeria has a way of getting them too. When they saw the way the whole thing was so clear, it was so easy, but the only problem is the people, they thought they were going to represent. They themselves had to jump ship. So the point I'm making is that individually, when you want to cover a whole country, when I say a whole country, that is the entire Yoruba land. Oh, somebody want me to say the pounds of 300 million. You know, to make it easier for you, the way I do my own division is this. If pound sterling is 700 naira, let's say if pounds is 700 naira, so 1 million pounds is 700 million, Abi. So divide 1 million pounds into 2, you will get 350 million, Abi. So if 1 million pounds is 700 million, 500,000 pounds will be somewhere around 350,000. 350 million. I help that math will help you get close. Now, so I do my own because it's too much. When the numbers are too much, boy, I don't trouble myself. But that's the way I do my calculation in my head. Use that too. You will not get the accurate figure, but you get so close. That's how much we spend. And the people who spend that money, they are still alive. Some of them are still watching me right now. Some, because they wanted to go to APC. APC promised them something. Because it was like, it's just like that. There's no godfather. Get ticket. Get them through to the INEC. All those things that makes it difficult for people to actually present themselves for election, right? We close all those barriers. We bribed. We bribed them in INEC, bribed them here, bribed them there, because they were demanding for money everywhere. But that money was covered by those who were funding my party then. But that's not what I wanted to really achieve with that story, because I failed with that. What I wanted to achieve with the story is that when you want to do something so big, something big for a whole country, Yoruba land, you need to be involved. You need to, when I say involved, it simply means go have a program. Let the Yoruba organization. By the time you have somebody with people with deep pockets, when I say deep pockets, you see somebody, they ask me now, how much is that in pounds? God knows how much that person has. It may just be like, Maiyegun, I don't understand naira. Give me pounds, because this one that you are talking about, all of us will get money for abroad to get involved in Yoruba nation, and we need people with deep pockets. Maiyegun, I want you to be giving me the figures in pound sterling. So imagine somebody who is ready to write a check of 1 million pounds every month in perpetuity for the cause of Yoruba nation. Do you know what that can do? In a year, you can turn the entire campuses in Yoruba land. You can turn them to campaign ground for Yoruba nation without them having to shout Yoruba nation yet. But for them to be able to at least come up and defend why Yorubas are better off. You see all this money? You can get involved in different communities where people are there. They are ready to defend their land. Let me tell you something. They are ready. But they don't have enough to defend themselves. Your organization can go there. Talk to them. Do a village meeting. Let the ballers, everybody there. No secret meeting. Pledge your support. Give them something. Something that connects them. Something that will make them know that if not for these people, now all of them, you need people with deep pockets, and you have them in abundance in Yoruba land. 1 million pounds is a lot, some will say, but it's not. If you are covering a whole country, when I say Yoruba land, that's a whole country. 58, between 58 and 66 million people. That is a lot. I was looking online. I was reading about some countries in Africa. Yeah. And that first country, Nigeria, has a population of 206 million people. That's what you have on the global population reading. 206 million people in Nigeria. I don't know every other figure inflated from every other part, right? But you can tell majority of those people live in southern Nigeria. And Yorubas have their chunk share of that. Trust me. We do. Now, if Yorubas are pulled out and Yorubas are 60 million people, which you belong to, which I belong to, the country, that's a whole country. That is the size of the entire UK. Almost the size of the population of the UK. Not just that. In Africa, the country that is next in big population to Nigeria is Ethiopia. Don't let it shock you. Ethiopia is a big country with big people, a lot of people. 114 million people. Egypt is next with 102 million people. Then you have Congo, DRC, Then you have South Africa with 59 million people. You have Tanzania with 59 million people. You have Kenya with 53 million people. You have Uganda with 45 million people. You have Algeria with 43 million people. You have Sudan with 43 million people as well. Morocco with 36 million. Angola with 32 million. Ghana with 31 million. Mozambique with 31 million. Madagascar with 27 million. Cameroon with 26 million people. Cote d'Ivoire with 26 million. Niger with 24 million. Burkina Faso with 20 million. Mali with 20 million. Malawi with 19 million. Zambia with 18 million, Senegal with 16 million. You have 58 countries in Africa. On and on and on and on until you get to Mauritius with 1.2 million, Eswatini with 1.1 million, Djibouti with 988,000, Reunion, there's a place called Reunion with 895,000 people. You have a place called Comoros with 869,000 people. You have a place called Western Sahara with 597,000 people. You have Cabo Verde. You have Mayotte. You have Sao Tome and Principe, 209,000 people. You have Seychelles Island, which is 98,000 people. Then you have Saint Helena, which is 6,000 people. How could anybody tell you there's a Yoruba man from the country of 60 million people? You are going to be inconsequential in the world. How could anybody say that? How could you even say that to your children without destroying their self-esteem so that they can go out there and they can be sounding ridiculously ignorant by defending Nigeria that they have no substance or anything to really say about? How could you do that to your children? They did that to you. They did that to us. How would you want to do that to your children? So we need to get involved. If Yoruba nation, let me tell you this, right? If Yoruba become a country, Yoruba land will be the 7th biggest country in the world, in the whole of Africa to start with. By the time you put us in the old bracket, right? You can just imagine where we're going to be. 60 million people, our children, competitive children. You ask yourself, who's going to build their future for them? Who? Of course, us. And it starts with what we tell them. The ignorance of this generation you see today, the ignorance that so many other people display when they defend Nigeria, they are so disappointing. We shouldn't do that to the next generation. Undermine their capacity, reduce their self-esteem in the name of Nigeria, and you have nothing to give to them as a backup. Nothing to say, this is why it is so. You can't tell them why. You can only tell them if you are benefiting from the rots. But what about it for the general good? This is why you can tell your children the truth. You can get involved. We can get involved. First, by telling ourselves the truth. Who are we supposed? When the people say we need to fight them, we need to destroy them, I say, listen, you have to have an idea of who you are fighting. You need to have an idea of who you are fighting first, so that you are not fighting the shadow, and then they continue to attack and undermine you from behind, and you continue to wonder, how are they able to get to us? We thought we are all united. Who are the saboteurs? Who are the sellouts? Who are those making money from this? Because you have no idea of who you are fighting. You need to have an idea first. If you are a Yoruba man and you know that Yoruba has been shortchanged so badly in Nigeria, before you put up that armor, before you put up that gun, before you put anything on that you want to go to war, you should ask yourself, who am I going to fight? You are going to fight the political class in Yoruba land. And the fight is not about guns. The fight is not with bottles. The fight is not with cutlass. This fight is not violence that way. Of course it's not. It's never going to be about violence. You attack the raw base, the people. They've weaponized poverty. You cannot preach liberation to hungry man. It doesn't work. Rather, you will create an imbalance riot because an hungry man is an angry man. But you can control the anger of man if you control the way or the access or the door to his belly. That work well a lot. It is an instrument that has been considered the crime against humanity to deliberately weaponize, to deliberately push people into poverty and then turn around, present yourselves as their saviors, the people with the solution to their problems, only if they can trust you again. Whether they trust you or not, it can be forcefully taken from them by weaponizing that poverty, unleashing mayhem that will never, ever make them capable enough to fight back. That is where we come in. There are people that will attack you and beat you up for asking them not to listen to Tifnumbu. There are people that will actually take it up with you if they have to track you down and beat you up and possibly even hurt you. If they feel like you are telling people not to listen to Obasanjo. I'm talking about when you mean it. That is where we come in. People don't need to know where you are getting the funding. I would love to be part of that. Part of those who are that background team who sees to the funding of the advancement of the Yoruba First ideology that doesn't feed the pocket of selfish few, but that gives a rekindled hope, something to hold on to as a Yoruba people, a rekindled, a rebirth, a rekindled hope. And then weaponize that against those who have been weaponizing poverty. Do you get it? I bet you get it. We need that. We need serious people. Serious people who knows that getting Yoruba nation or getting succor for our people in a disjointed, imbalanced Nigeria is a long game. You must be ready to play that long game until we win the trust of the people. It is so important. Very important. So wherever I say Yoruba, if you are a Biafran, put Biafra there. You already have IPOP. You already have the DOS. You have people on ground. close rank, close rank, close ranks, and cut down your bickering. Build on this and stop your infighting. You know why? Whenever you put Biafra into the frame of what I've just told you now, you can't put a divided Biafra in there. A house divided against itself will break. So says the saying. Maybe the sage. I won't say much on that as well. I'm a Yoruba man. Very proud one. Nigeria is not bigger than Yoruba to me. And here I am, calling on those who have similar infightings for the sake of the millions of Yoruba people. Close ranks. Be like Awolowo. What Awolowo did wasn't a miracle until he got those idealist guys with him who used the same pattern I just told you. It is important because it is when you have such in Yoruba land, that is when you will know those you are really up against. That is when you will know that when you turn on your camera and you want to tell the Yorubas why we need Yoruba nation, why we need regionalism, why you need restructuring, just anything you want to propagate for the Yoruba people or about the Yoruba people, what you think is right for the Yoruba people, and you want to elaborate on them so well, just remember this. If you don't have a platform that is united enough, funded well enough, and when I say funded, discreetly, whereby the source of the funding is never known, be like Awolowo. Be like those team. Before their own infighting started, be like Akintola and the gang. These were guys who played the game so well, because you know, when you get to that point, you will realize that you have no other enemy blocking the way other than the Yoruba people like yourself, Yorubas, traditional rulers, local government chairmen, past and present, that big contractor, this socio-political group here and there, all of them, you will see clearly that they are the Fulanis. When you turn on your camera, you will not be out there and telling people that the Fulanis this, the Igbos that, Fulanis this, Igbos that. But because you will get to realize that the Fulani this, the Igbo that, they are just the mirage, they are just the myth, they are just the lies that makes one Nigeria eventually. So as a Yoruba podcaster, as a Yoruba presenter, I love it. Some people told me to start speaking Yoruba. I'm like, come on. Such a golden thing for me to speak Yoruba, but I will be so unfair to so many of my non-Yoruba speakers, right? And I'm glad enough that we get to mix them all up here. But there are many of you who speak Yorubas better all the time. When this idea of Awolowo and the idea of those who were the first scholars who challenged the status quo and they won, what happened is that they won the war, but they lost the battle. The battle would have been the battle of the survival of the Yoruba people. That battle is what they lost because they aimed for the war. But you can learn from that. Like I said, you can learn from that, and you can tell our people that. Tell our people why we are where we are now. Say it to them. Name those who have been involved in keeping us poor. Those who have been keeping us poor, they are not you. I mean, they are not Igbos. They are not Fulanis. They are not Hausas. They are not from any other part other than Yoruba land. Because if you feel like any other tribe in any part of Nigeria, any one of them is committing any crime in any part of Yoruba land, and yet those saddled with the responsibility of keeping us safe, speaking on our behalf, getting us the best of the best deal as a people of part of Nigeria, they looked away. Then you don't blame them. You blame the people who looked away. Because number one, it is either they are collaborating with them, or, like I said, Nigeria will never let them do anything. So if Nigeria won't let them do anything to keep us safe as Yoruba people in Yoruba land, why are they still part of Nigeria? Or have you heard any of those governors fighting, saying, Yorubas will break away? How can we not have our own electricity? No, be fool and say, make you know have electricity in Yoruba land. You know that it is not the Igbos who refuse to build the medical centers in Yoruba land. And it is not the Hausas, right, that stopped us from, what do you call it, sending our children to the better school, building good, better roads in Yoruba land. The only people who denied us that are the people who are parading themselves as Yoruba leaders. So the power they believe they have is the poverty that they have weaponized. So as a Yoruba presenter, as a Yoruba podcaster, vlogger, whatever, right? You should make it a duty to tell an average Yoruba man and woman where to look for his problems, where to look if he's looking for the cause of his problem or a problem. You should never look far. Before you blame an Igbo man, before you blame a Fulani man, before you blame an Hausa man, what is that Yoruba man doing? The one parading himself as your governor, the one parading himself as your local government chairman, the one parading himself as your rep or senator, the ones walking about as your political leader in your community. What do you think they are doing? They will tell you, now the government is supposed to do something. Ask them, where is the government? They will point to Buhari, and you ask that, have you told Buhari face to face and cheer for him? Have you? They will say, no, we don't do things like that. We are doing a meeting. The government is, you know what I mean? But when politics comes, they will then tell you, Buhari has failed. Buhari has failed. But it's that time to use the weaponized poverty to make you probably trust them. And when you look around, that they are all the same in that same bracket of inefficiency, of incompetency, and of greed and selfishness, the one that brought us to this level in the first place. So you see your brothers there. So if you turn on that camera, especially all of you living in Nigeria, call yourself bloggers and what have you, you have created so many stories. In 2022, we want to see a redirected you know what I mean now? Redirected kind of approach, the one that targets the people. Do you get what I mean now? One that targets the people. If you want to tell us that we should believe in Yoruba nation, you must be able to also get ready to put in the work. This is where I somehow would want to see if indeed we have the genuine Omo Yorubas, Omo Yoruba, like real Omo Yorubas, who will actually use their own money to save their own people. How? You see, when you win the trust of those people, in a twinkle, you can take away all the political power from all those criminals, and you can give it to those who can genuinely, right, speak out for the Yoruba people. So the Fulanis that crossed our border, kidnapping our people, ransacking our farms, destroying our villages and communities, burning people's properties beyond anything, right? You will have people that will be bold enough to get those that will get them gunned down, that will get them all down. And Buhari and anybody who is in charge of Nigeria then will never have the audacity to even come out and say, Pem, you can change that. That is something that an average Nigerian will tell you that Baba is a long thing. That's why I call it a long game. Even though many would want to just sleep and wake up tomorrow morning and somebody just make an announcement. Bang, 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 bang. Gee, Yoruba Nation, we declare. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Maiyegun, we need to fight them. We need to use all this in our story. This in our story. We use chemical bomb. We use chemical this. I say, wake me up when you start, please, so that I'm not the one disturbing you or delaying you. Oh yeah, go on. Go and use that now. Okay? Wake me up when you are done. I've been hearing that for the past 4 years. Thanks to Adeyinka Grandiot. Adeyinka Grandiot presented Yoruba people in a different way that even Yorubas are so ashamed of him. Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? It is a long game. And if you don't have the people on your side on this, you are on your own. It doesn't take time to know. How do you get them on your side? You first have to show that you are actually worthy of this. I've made a call out now. Let the rich Yorubas use their money rightly. You see, all of you, all of us, where they use our $5, $20, $50, $100. You know what I mean? To support all of the advocacies and everything everywhere. I say thank you to you. You people are actually the fuel that pushed the vehicle to this point. But it's not enough. It will never be enough. And it seems that there is no accountability as well. I mean, I don't know much about that. Until I was told that, Maiyegun, we heard that you have built 2 mansions in Nigeria from the money that you made from Yoruba Nation. I'm like, you could not tell me if you don't build one mansion, even if just one, you don't build for me somewhere. Tell me, make people give me the address of the place. You know, sometimes people feel do something for you and say, Maiyegun Yoruba Nation. So, no accountability. So we want something more clearer, something more direct. War is not won on social media. Do you know that? There are some things you don't really have to say until the results start coming out and the rest of that. You see everything I told you now. Some people are already doing it. But it's not enough. Walking on the ground, getting involved in the community recovery, areas where people have been attacked. Some people have been there, offering their support, giving them money, giving them, all that, and they choose not to publicize them. Because we need to win the trust of these people. We need, where the government's abandoned them, we need to make them, when they look around, they need to see some people. And when you see them, when you win their trust, you will tell them, I'm a Yoruba man, I'm a Yoruba ni mi, I'm a Yoruba ni, when you begin to win their trust, when you begin to win their confidence and the rest of that, and before you know it, that will spread. When that spread, you know what I mean? So I said, people are already doing it. People are already on their own providing resources to help communities who come under different attacks in Yoruba land. How many times have you heard about these attacks or that attacks in Yoruba land anymore? Somehow, people have started getting involved, and I appreciate them a lot. I want something bigger, something physical, something relative, something we can all, move with, something with endless deep pockets. When I say deep pocket, somebody needs to pay the tab. And I know what I'm talking about. There are those who knows that Yoruba nation, Yoruba land can be bigger if it's well managed. by selfless people, not these greedy, selfish people. You need to take the power away from them first. Some said, who are those who are going to lead the Yoruba nation? I said, there are people who are going to lead the Yoruba nation. You know why? Because they will be motivated too. As long as they know the beginning, the genesis of it, they are involved in it. They are part and parcel of those who craft or who draft what will be the foundation of that nation. Get them involved. Get an organization that takes care of that legitimately, religiously. Go into those communities. Walk in there with confidence. Give them the ID. Give them a name that is hope, a name that a Yoruba person will be so proud of. And when they hear that name, they feel hopeful. That is what we want. That is what will last. When you are going to need them, it's going to be like a clarion call. Politicians make them poor so that you can give them money in order to weaponize their poverty, in order to use them to validate the 4 years fraud they call election. You don't challenge them by election anymore. I did try that. Our people are psychologically, mentally, not prepared to challenge those who have oppressed them for this long. They have been psychologically, they have been mentally destroyed enough to suspect every good thing that could work for them. And they know this is not going to work for them. They know Nigeria is not working for them. But psychologically, they can manage and deal with it than for them to trust something new. That is psychological manipulation of years. Children are being subjected to that now. Millions of new young people, 22 years ago, democracy started. Those who have their children 22 years ago, 21 years ago, 20 years ago, if you are 21, 22, 23 years old as you are watching this video, you are just a baby. 22 years ago when Nigeria got into the democracy. Today, Nigeria has happened to many of them. Nigeria has shaped many of them. We can no longer change their minds. Psychologically, they can't trust what will work for them. They can't. Even if they want to, they can't. You need to begin to psychologically win their trust. That's why you need somebody. You need the people, collection of people who will come together, give themselves a name that is money, resources that go straight into the advocacy for Yoruba nation and what have you, where politicians are beginning to share their rice, where politicians are beginning to share their food, where they are beginning to share wrapper, where they are beginning to share bowls in order to get them to validate another 4 years of fraudulent manipulation and poverty. You can be the alternative. Your money can do the job for them. You can be the confraternity, the fraternity that the Yoruba needs now. There's no fraternity. If you are going into Yoruba nation because you want to raise money and you want to collect money, you are not for Yoruba nation. Let me tell you this. Trust me, you are not. I'm saying it to you right now. I don't want to bruise your ego. I don't want to hurt your feelings so that it doesn't look like because you see, when you find this fraternity, the Yoruba fraternity, which is, it's not a secret culture, because some of you say, Maiyegun, I don't like fraternity. Fraternity is brotherhood. Brotherhood, you see, when you say revolution, say, I'm a revolutionary. Revolutionary. You are joining a fraternity of a brotherhood of one idea that is for the benefit of general and the millions. So if fraternity makes you uncomfortable, call it anything you want to call it. Coming together, they call it Yoruba Reconnaissance, Yoruba Rebirth, Yoruba Now. You know what I mean? Anything, just anything that makes it easier for to say, in association with Agbekoya, Yoruba Rebirth, and their sponsor, we are giving Agbekoya 200 million naira. And this announcement is not for social media, by the way. I'm just giving you the example now. Make an impact and say, Agbekoya, give us the data of all our able-bodied men and women who are working in the security world of Yoruba land, who understand the topography, every area, every corner of Yoruba land. We are going to give you 200 million naira every month. And then we want the receipt for that. Your job is this and that. Nobody needs to know. They would know. So when Agbekoya comes into, or this group come to your community, and they root all those criminals out there from wherever they are, and they say, you're safe. Yoruba rebirth, Yoruba first, Yoruba rebirth, Yoruba first. And they share their flyers. They share everything that tells them about who is doing this. People will begin to say, and if you have any problem again, call this number. Don't call the police. Oh. Don't call any of them, okay? If you notice any strange movement in your area, we need you to call this number. When you begin to build that kind of trust within the local communities, and your politicians begin to go to those places, and people begin to tell them that you useless people, look at that water system there. It's not borehole. Water, proper water system is built by the Yoruba First team. These are the things that we should be getting from you criminals. Look at that schools there. They were built by the Yoruba. I'm using that Yoruba First, Yoruba Now, or anything. I'm not a millionaire. You know what? If to say I'll be one kind of millionaire now, I can start it. You get what I mean now? But you can't tell anybody how to spend their money. You can give them the idea. And I have a lot of millionaires watching my video. I have guys who actually, they are rich guys, Yorubas all over the world. They watch my video. I remember when I was raising money for my Diaspora Radio International, somebody gave me 2,000 pounds. How will you go put 2,000 pounds on GoFundMe? Who be this person? And he said, don't worry, if you need more, just call on us. So, I don't need more. That's enough. Thank you. 2,000 pounds. Today, that's how much? That's going to be like 1.5 million naira. Now, a lot of money. Oh. Do you get that now? But if to say I'm a millionaire, let's say I'll be a rich person now. And I'm just going to say, hey, my millionaire friend. I'll start calling their names. You know, I'll just say, hey, Princess Balogun. You should be in London by tomorrow evening. Don't give me any excuse. I need you in London tomorrow evening. Emergency meeting. Baba Shade from Dublin. You know, there are some people who watch my video on Facebook. They're like, Baba Shade is watching. Baba Shade, like Baba Shade. Baba Shade from Belgium. You need to be in London tomorrow evening because I know say Baba Shade will pay. Maybe Baba Shade will come and give 500,000 pounds. Princess will come say, Maiyegun, time hard. It's only you that can give me, that can make this call that I'm going to answer. I'm going hard, didn't say, but my phone 1 million. Say, share 1 million every month. I be 1 million every week. Maiyegun, just share every month. 1 million pounds. I said, hey, that's good. Then I'll start calling people if I'm a millionaire. Or some say, Maiyegun, don't worry, you'll become a millionaire. And me, amen. The first time, when I make my first million, I will go and build something in Odo, Bolu, apart from what I'm doing right now, trying to see people, take care of things and all of that. But there are rich people watching me. They're laughing. They're laughing right now. But if I manage to get into your head, this is what I'm talking about. You can make use of some money. You know what I mean? You can give us something. That money can be used. I know that nobody wants to just give money to anybody or give money to some people that go to, they'll say, leader. They say, who is the director of a Yoruba, this and that funding? They say, oh boy, you don't know that guy where they go. Say, who him be? Say, and that guy be the chairman for Yoruba First. And the guy, they share it. Say, I they drive this limousine. I say, since the people they abroad, now all of them they abroad, all these rich people, they do Yoruba nation. The guy just a maga them. The guy don't marry 3 wives now. He don't build about 5 houses. The guy na big man, oh. Anywhere he go na convoy. The Muguns where they give him money, millionaire, Yoruba, they are abroad. Nobody want to do that. No. So I know what I'm talking about. And for those who are actually rich, all of you, my rich friends, I know you didn't become rich so cheap. Therefore, you're never going to just flaunt your money away. But you know what I'm talking about. We can make use of some money from you. Real money now. That's why at the same time, I'm calling on those we know, Ilanomo Odua. They have the coverage, they have the acceptance. We have told the whole world, Ilanomo Odua is good to go. We can trust and work with them. But there are so many things going on underground as well. If they can fix that, and suddenly somebody come and say, Maiyegun, my brother, I watched your last video. You are a star. People tell me that a lot, by the way. People tell me that a lot. You are you are a blessing to Yoruba nation. Thank you. People tell me that a lot. But you see, Maiyegun, I will give, if people call now, I can say, Ilanomo Odua. We don't get millionaire. We want, we won't help us. So we need organization. The last time I spoke to Baba Akintoye, and so many other people I've spoken to, I've told them that they need to show organizational framework, something convincing enough that you have this framework. There are many, many of us that can make a lot of difference in the course of the Yoruba nation and all of that. There are ways we can get people involved, right? And then I'm talking about in a way where people will not just get involved. They will have reasons to be involved. They have something that attaches them. They have a lot they want to also be part of. And then it could be the bridge between the Yorubas in diaspora and the Yorubas in Nigeria to actually cut off all these criminals who have told you, you have no choice. Nigeria is one. Nobody is changing that. There's nothing you can do about that. Take it or leave it. Your life or your land, and all those conditions they've given to you. We need to get involved. Me, now this platform I get, where I can tell you how I feel, where I can get a lot of you to agree with me, and I also get some of you to disagree with me as well. I can get some of you to start laughing there, and you'll be like, you don't even know why you are giggling there, because Maiyegun just said something that makes you laugh, and the rest of that. That is the most I can contribute when we talk about what I'm talking about now. So we need real people. We need real people to volunteer too. Listen, guys, in a struggle, there's something called volunteering. Volunteering means you are doing it not for money. That is called volunteering. And volunteering, right, it is not compulsory or mandatory. It is always voluntary, volunteering. Now but you can get rewarded for doing something. Whatever comes for it, take it. Cherish it, value it, appreciate it. Because it's not really meant for you to get paid for it. So where you are volunteering, all over the world where you volunteer, there is always something that comes with it. On your CV, you have it there, you have volunteered, and you have worked on different outreach programs of the Yoruba Nation people. You have done this, you have done that, you have been to the health centers, you have helped them, process the sick people, because Yoruba Nation is doing some programs, a well-funded program that helps a lot of people. And you are involved, you are volunteering. You know what I'm talking about? Get used to volunteering. Tell your children to get used to volunteering. Tell them about volunteering to helping other people. You see all these things, they call it community. Community this, community that. You don't need offices everywhere before you can sell Yoruba Nation. You just need people. You need people. Number one, resources, the people. People who knows what they are talking about. People who knows why they are talking to people. And then, what's the end result? All of these things requires us to get involved. You should get involved. When you go, see, you don't even need to go to outreach and be doing ejakede igbala, bashenkede igbala, bashenkede osan, so there you, bashenkede igbala. No, you know those things. You don't need to do all of that. You can start a conversation with family members. You can start a conversation with anybody, anywhere. And you have that conversation in a way that you can bring something out by telling them something, not arguing with them, getting involved. It's a long thing, no? It's a long thing. You don't need to do Ikede. If you do Ikede, it's not bad, though. You can go out there. Kereo, kereo, onílé, àlejò, ọmọdé, àgbà, ọkùnrin, obìnrin. Yorùbá nation ni o. Ìdí rèé o. Àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n lè rí iléèwé gidi lọ. Yorùbá nation ni o. Go out there, do that, do evangelism. Evangelism is also good. It depends on whatever you are good at. Just do it. Get involved. Don't join those who always blame people. Don't blame people for your problems. Don't just blame them. Do something. Nobody is coming to change anything for us, okay? Talk to people. Get comfortable talking about Yoruba. Tell them what we could have been. Tell them what we could have been. Use your imagination to the highest of whatever it is. Do it. Enjoy it. Feel comfortable about it. There's nothing wrong in that. Nigeria is not bigger than you. Nigeria is not bigger than Yoruba nation. Nigeria is not bigger than the Biafra nation. Nigeria is not bigger than any part of those things, because all those parts makes Nigeria. If a part is out of it, Nigeria doesn't exist. Be proud of who you are. Say it with pride. No matter what they say out there, let your children believe it. Use your imagination. Be imaginative. Create Yoruba heroes. Superheroes for Yoruba. Create them in your stories. Tell your children. Let them tell their children too. Do it. Get involved. Stop feeding them with those lies that they're going to find out later. And they're going to say, fuck Nigeria. And you're not going to feel comfortable with that. When did I raised you well? When did I raise you to be using F word as a mommy? She doesn't know what may person use F word. So I raise you well. You're a Christian. Don't use the F word. Nigeria will make them use the F word one day. Because you're lying to them. If you continue to tell them that Nigeria is a great country and Nigeria will be a great country someday, it won't. Tell them. Yes, officially we are Nigerians now. We didn't create Nigeria problem. I didn't. My father didn't. Your parents didn't. Well, maybe your state, because if your papa a politician, would they collect contractor from his own friend back then? You know, if he said the whole thing, but you didn't. Do you agree? Maybe you did you? Because I don't even know. A lot of people are watching me right now, so I don't know who I'm talking to or who I'm not talking to. But personally, I didn't create problem of Nigeria. I didn't collect a dime from anything they've done. I didn't make any party. I was never part of any policy making or decision making. I've always been part of the victims. All of us in the victim world. The open concentration camp. So we didn't. But we can be part of the solution. We are the solution. And the solution is not far-fetched though. It simply means if you know be say you're mad, if you don't get mental problem, don't think you'll be doing the same thing again and again, then you are expecting a different result. That means you are a madman. But if you are not, then you will see into this and say, I know how they deceive me. I won't let them do the same thing to my children. I'll tell them the truth. They need to know. Let your children know. So that children's mind, trust me, they are like a sacred place. If the first thing you are going to plant into that heart of theirs, their mind, is the truth that they denied you, that truth will help that child. And if we can plant that truth in the minds of the million of these children, Nigeria is not bigger than who they are. Tell them, say to them confidently, tell them who they are, where they come from. Tell them their story. Like again, use your imagination. Make up stories if you have to make up stories. Tell stories about your ancestors. Tell them they were forced to be part of this fraudulent contraption. And your children should never grow up and start saying Nigeria is not break up. It's not cannot be break. You can't break up Nigeria. Look at all my mates shouting, Nigeria, Nigeria, what do you call it? Nigeria unity is non-negotiable. My mate, 35, 38, 40-year-old, jumping up and down. Nigeria is non-negotiable. Nigeria is non-negotiable. Don't blame them. Blame their parents. Their parent told them that. They had no reason, they had no way of asking why, because their parents too, they didn't have any answer. They were subjected to believe that. And from generation to generation, people believe that. And that's all you need. Conquer the mind. You see this mind? Mind. Mind is a very powerful tool. If you don't use it, somebody will use it for you. And that is why majority of those they've been rich and miseducated in Nigeria, they can't reason because they don't have the mind of their own. No, really. They don't have a thinking capacity to reject something because they are conditioned to be that way. You can change that. That's the point, Sha. Don't lie to your children, please. Don't lie to them. Let us have a generation that knows that they are from somewhere before Nigeria. Yeah? And in fact, that somewhere was better than they are in Nigeria today. If you raise a generation like that, the job is half done. It is half done. But again, I am just a teacher. I am just Maiyegun. I haven't received such calling to lead millions of people. I haven't. Maybe as they say, life is a teacher. The more you live, the more you learn. As I age, as I grow older, maybe, just maybe, I may get such call. And as they say, such call to get so much to the point that you dedicate your life to lead millions of people to what you believe. If you ask me, how am I going to do it? I'll do it just the same way I just told you. When people say, Maiyegun, come here, we want you to come and be this and that, I will say, give me 3 multimillionaires that believe in that idea. If you can't give me 3 multimillionaires, Yorubas, who believe in this idea, just make me a supporter, please. I would love to be a supporter of the idea. Don't make me lead something. I won't say more than that. However, God can use anyone. I mean, my job as a teacher is to make you believe that you are valuable in the course of this whole thing. It is just how you see yourself that we then decide. Any one of us can be that useful. Any one of us. But you must be prepared for it. You must have that prepared mind. You must never have it at the back of your mind that this is about what I can gain or what I can get. The moment you are not that selfish, probably you get, and you are choosing, you get there. But for somebody like myself, I am a teacher on the temple of truth. Say it. Let the people do what they like with it. Tonight, I have said it again. I am a Yoruba man, a proud one. And Nigeria does not come before my Yoruba until when we are able to change this. Officially, I am still a Nigerian, no doubt. But like Omoyele Sowore once said, Maiyegun, many Nigerians have mentally succeeded from Nigeria. And he was right. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm going to see you some other night. So if you're watching me right now on YouTube, like that video before you go. Watch it over again if you have to. I'm going to see you some other time. Good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ba bá gbé wúrẹ́. And yeah.
It's okay, off your mic, it's okay. She off your mic,
to that, to that imbalance was a Yoruba man. And he gave his reasons. Here is what he said.
But one thing I believe we all have in common, Nigeria. One thing that we have in common, Nigeria. Ijo nation, if you like. I have never used Yoruba nation, and I will never. Because I believe that my Nigerianness is bigger than my Yorubaness. And neither my Yorubaness nor my Nigerianness should stand in the way of each other. For me, my Nigerianness is very important because I am more than what I should have been as a Nigerian than as an Oduduwa Republic man. And I believe that that should be the case for every one of us.
Nigeria is personal to so many people for so many reasons. One of them is what they have become by projecting Nigeria as their country. But the question is, how many of us have that same privilege to say, Nigeria means this to me because of this and that, like Obasanjo? Not many of us. He said he wished it on the rest of the country, like all Nigerians, to feel that way, which is great, lofty, beautiful idea that they always profess, but they never really implement. Now, implementing it is going to be another thing entirely. There's another thing to wish. There's another thing to do. Then there's another thing to take responsibility, whether you do good or you failed. I'll tell you something. One Nigeria means a lot to Nigeria politicians, retired generals, because they were those who shared the spoils of Nigeria. When I say the spoils, everything in that country is owned by them. After they forced the entire country to become one, forcefully, that they would never be able to manage, then share them, territory by territory, resources by resources, and this is so vital to them, to people like Obasanjo. They had the opportunity to let everybody have the same experience like them, that will make them have something that's attachable, something that attaches them to Nigeria, like Obasanjo. It is not all, not all Nigerians are lucky to have a government use law and force to take people's lands and call it government land and then reallocate them to themselves. Choice properties, choice lands all over Nigeria, including the oil wealth. So they have managed, right, to privatize the people's wealth. And that is personal to them. Not all of you have that same luxury because Obasanjo and gang did not make that happen. How then do they want people to continue to attach themselves to a country that is so polarized with impunity? You know this selfishness, so divided that even Obasanjo himself and these co-travelers, they agreed that Nigeria has failed, especially under this Buhari. But according to them, there's so much for them to lose. If Nigeria should go back to either regionalism or if Nigeria should break up entirely. Because today, Obasanjo is a citizen of the world. Why? He led the country, Nigeria, for 13, how many years? For 11 years. First as a military head of state, then as 8 years as civilian president, who did absolute nothing but to glorified corruption in a different way that he himself will never admit. Same way Buhari came to legalize corruption in his own way, as he believes something is likely going to be talking about in years to come, like Obasanjo, and he will tell you how much Nigeria means to them. Obasanjo had an opportunity. If for no other time, it was in 2005 when Nigeria issue came to a boiling point, not as bad as this. Opportunity. A Yoruba man. Not selfish, not because I don't really want to go deep into Obasanjo's failure as president yet. But this particular one stands out when it comes to a boiling point, when people said they've had enough. Let's have a sovereign national conference. That's the same thing people are asking for today. Let's have a national dialogue. This is not working. But you know one thing, every time they have that chance, somebody in power whose selfish interest will always override the general interest will always be in that position to rubbish that. And that started with Obasanjo under this dispensation. Democracy. 2005. We didn't know that Obasanjo was actually funding his own third-term agenda. That was why he agreed to the Sovereign National Conference of 2005, where people came and they said, you know what? This Nigeria is not working. This state by state, no. Right? Let people control their resources. Let all the regions do their thing. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to that. They submitted their report to Obasanjo because that report didn't come with third term, like life president. As long as you win an election, you can always be president of Nigeria. So that's the vital point of that conversation, the division, the differences, the forceful union remain forceful union. The differences remain differences that they could only use to continue to hold everyone together. We need to do our best for Nigeria. We need to work. We have to be patriotic. Everybody is not just government. Everybody needs to do their part. Meanwhile, the people that are really saddled with the responsibility of keeping us safe, keeping your money safe, curbing corruption, and the rest, they are neck deep, body deep in the same thing. They want you and me to be patriotic enough to stand against. What do I mean by that? People came together, they said, this is not working. Obasanjo through, I bet that report has already gathered enough dust, if they still have it, in their presidential office in Abuja. It started with Obasanjo. Then,
Another failure of the same Obasanjo was that he knew Nigeria was completely fractured. They all knew. He was the only person who had the audacity to sack majority of all those military personnel that supervised this emergence as president. He was the only one who took that. He took that risk and he got away with it. Yet, he had no plan for any successor. He had no plan for any future. He had no plan for whatever even he himself felt like was the good thing for Nigeria. 8 solid years. Personal interest, selfish interest that overrode the general interest. Obasanjo, that same Baba Obasanjo, he couldn't find any good, reliable successor within PDP. You know the story, until he brought a Sikh Yaradua, which according to the conspiracy theorists, they said the plot was drag Yaradua into it. If he falls so sick that he dies during the campaign, the constitution allows that the election must be postponed by a year. And then until, you know what I mean, until they feel like they can find a replacement for him, then the election can be postponed for another 1 year. So Obasanjo could stay in power for an extra 2 years. Now, conspiracy theorists said that they said that was why they dragged Yaradua into it. That was the man who thought the future of Nigeria should be where everyone has the same thing he has. But it's not true. It's all about selfishness. And you know, don't let us even go into the endless assassination, political assassination under this man that started with Bola Ige, Funshaw Williams, and so is it Ari Sekibo or Dekibo, Mashahari. So many people who tried to cross Obasanjo line, and then they paid with their lives. No joke, let me say, during that time, just like what you have now. He brought somebody who had no plan or anything related to whatever Obasanjo had as the next president. That was Yaradua. Jonathan, that was so lucky that Obasanjo has managed to help them chase Alamesia away. He was preparing to be governor of Bayelsa State. Obasanjo dragged him there. So that, according to people, he could still be in control for that future Nigeria that is now gone. The Obasanjo is not proud to be called a Yoruba man from Yoruba nation, because Nigeria gave him something that the Yoruba nation would never give to him. But whatever Nigeria gave to Obasanjo, how many Yoruba young people are going to have the same opportunity like Obasanjo among the millions that came after him, now that he is in his 80s? Last, the ship of PDP collapsed in 2015. And when you look at all the players, Obasanjo was involved, talking about the future of Nigeria. Now, his involvement in 2015, still, about Nigeria, whatever we feel like, we should always because Obasanjo and gang, they know better. Nigeria gave them life. Nigeria gave them energy, oxygen that they breathe with. But how many other young Nigerians, Yorubas, Igbos, Hausas, Fulanis, as Nigeria snuffed lives out of the same oxygen that Obasanjo breathed with, the same oxygen that Babangida is breathing with, the same oxygen that Abdul Salami is breathing with, the same oxygen that Jonathan and the rest of them are already breathing with as we speak. Why the same oxygen is being snuffed out of the lives of thousands of Nigerians? 2015, he got involved. And 7 years after that, this is what Obasanjo had to say. Let us give the credit again to Channels Television, who gave us this clip. Listen.
But one thing I believe we all, in 2011, I went to Maiduguri and I was put put in contact with Boko Haram leadership. And I asked the man who was intermediating, what do you think is the foreign involvement with Boko Haram? And he said maybe 10–15%. I said, how do you come to that? And he said, well, we know them, we know what they bring in, and the people, not much. And that time, it would have been easy to deal with the issue of Boko Haram. Today, the foreign involvement is more than 50%. So it has grown beyond what we can say we deal with quickly. But then, there's still room for dealing with it. But somebody said, yes, we do not need the president, the governors, and the legislatures. We can assemble. Yes, we can assemble. We have assembled here. But there is the aspect of legislation that I've mentioned. We cannot legislate. We can assemble, we can meet, we can recommend, we can appeal, but we cannot legislate. And that is why we must go to them, we must carry them along, and the senator will say, you're right. And he cannot do it alone. And it is also our responsibility to do what we need to do, to involve and to carry those who have responsibility to do what they need to do in the best interest of our country and our nation. Now I come and I end up, drop the ball. Almost anywhere I go, people will say, well, Nigeria is not at the table. And that is the truth. Oh yes, Nigeria is not at the table. About a week ago, I was coming from Gambia, where I've gone to observe the election on behalf of the Commonwealth. And when I got to Togo, Lomé, the president of Togo was waiting for me, and he took me to his house, where I met the former president of Niger, President Issoufou. And they sat me down and said this and that and this and that. Some of the questions they asked me, I cannot answer, because it borders on what they expect Nigeria to do, which they found Nigeria not doing. And how do I answer that? What do I say? So at the end I said, I hear you. And when I get home, I will see what can be done. But when I get home, I won't see anything. That's the truth. Because the truth is this. President Buhari has done his best. That is what he can do. If you expect anything more than what he has done and what he's doing, you are kicking a dead horse. And there's no need. So, if they pass all this into me and say this, what do I say? I say what I think I should say. I understand the point you are making. When I get home, then they will not let me go. But then, where do we go from here? We cannot fold our hands. I believe, and that is part of what we are doing here, and what I believe we must continue to do. How do we prepare for post-Buhari era. Buhari has done his best. My prayer is that God will spare his life to see his term through. But what do we have after Buhari? What should we do to make post-Buhari era better than what we have now? That is your responsibility. That is our responsibility. And that we cannot, and it's not a question of passing the buck or and saying, look.
The questions that comes to mind are, how many people need to die before Buhari sees his tenure through? How many people need to die? And is Obasanjo positioning himself again for you all, or before you all, as those who are going to decide again what is good for you again, as usual? Because he loves Nigeria. He is always involved in everything. And just like himself, everything he's involved in has brought further failure to Nigeria. Haven't they? Everything is, you know. So, is Obasanjo still seeing himself as, just like many of them see themselves, so, as people who decided to bring Buhari in 2015 as the future, merge it and break it up. I mean, broke it up in 2019, but it was too late. The monster they created was so bigger than them that they couldn't stop it anymore. So are they positioning themselves for Obasanjo is over 80, by the way. And if you are in your 20s, now your grandpa be that. Right? Well, somebody placed or kind of described this in a clearer way. And it's good if you hear from the horse's mouth, by the way. And that is the unfamiliar voice speaking the truth, like a confession. Watch this.
Interest of public good. And you know, the politicians proudly tell you that politics is about interest. If they don't get what they want, they are ready to collapse the system. Every military coup in Nigeria's history was engineered by civilians that have lost elections, rightly or wrongly. If a politician contests for a position and he doesn't get it, he will not support a party member that got the nomination. He will rather move to the opposition and ensure that the person that defeated him, fair and square, loses the election. So we have a political culture where the primacy of personal interest trumps everything else. Now, what is the difference between human beings and animals? Human beings can come together and compromise to live in peace, to make progress. Animals, at least some of them, not all, some animals are even organized enough to do what human beings do. But most animals don't have the sense that if we come together, we will be more successful. With animals, it's everyone for himself. So it is with most Nigerian politicians. Everyone for himself. No one for the country. No one even for the party. It's an interesting political culture, and it's ingrained. Politicians believe that is the way, that is politics. And to change it will take quite an effort. Something has happened in the political landscape in the last 1 year. This merger of 3 opposition parties. It's unprecedented. It has never happened. It only happened because the 3 leaders of the parties, that is General Buhari, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, decided that we must put aside our own personal interests, our personal aspirations, our personal ambitions, to save the country, because if we don't save it, PDP will take each one of us one by one and kill us. Standing alone, the PDP will get all of them. But together, perhaps, they stand a fighting chance. Okay? This is the only reason why the merger took place. Because for the first time, the leaders of the parties decided that public interest is more important than private interests. Now, I hope, and I'm a member of that party, I'm an official of that party, I hope that that attitude will be sustained as we go forward into the future. But this is a problem, and until we fix our politics, we'll continue to throw up the wrong leaders, we'll continue to sustain a system that serves the elite few to the detriment of the many. And one day, everything will end. Because this system that excludes, that pauperizes the majority, is not sustainable. One day, the large majority of the poor and the hungry will kill all of us, the minority that are not poor and that eat well. Which brings me to the next problem. We have built our economics around one commodity called oil. We have moved from a country that is fairly economically diversified into a country that depends on oil. And we live in a federation where only one state is viable, really, Lagos. And Lagos is viable not because of its efforts, but because of history. It was the federal capital, it is the commercial capital, so they have the tax base to tax and be viable. Apart from Lagos, no state in the federation can pay the cost, the running cost of its government without a monthly check from Abuja. Two other states can pay salaries. Kano, for the same reasons like Lagos, big history, some industrial base, and Kaduna, because one former governor sacked half of the civil servants, a military governor.
Sorry, I don't want to bore you with him. Some of you are getting bored, and we know that everything is said there. This was before 2015. Oh, I decided to play you old video there, right? When they were cooking the lies. And the, what do you call it? The Buhari idiots, the cyber barbarians, they were feeding them. Even those who got affected or infected by the changer virus, which ended up as a chain. But he was speaking common sense, more or less like a confession. What they did or were doing to take over power. And when they took over power, they became the monster you have to deal with today. So we have a music for them.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt. I bring you a message of hope. We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
We know the reasons why they would never support either Yoruba Nation or the Dua Republic, Biafra, and like he mentioned, Niger Delta Republic and any other Arewa Republic and any other republic that might come out of the first union of 250 nationalities. How do you even do that? Here in Europe, you have every ethnic European, what do you call it, nationality in their own country. Proud, little, big, whatever you want to call it. But these are countries that you actually fit into different part of what is called today's Nigeria, comparatively, right? Bigger place, freer countries, but bigger place and first countries. So we know why they will never support that. It is because it will never give them the spotlight that they enjoy. Because normally, listen, normally, most of the people you celebrate as leaders in Nigeria, whether religious or whether traditional or political or even military,
majority of them will never, ever survived any of those ranks they obtained in Nigeria elsewhere, same way they did. I mean, they got them in Nigeria. These are the guys, if you look at your military, these are the guys who never really fought any war to save the territorial integrity of Nigeria from terrorists, from anybody. The ranks they give to themselves, the title, the promotions they give to themselves, they got them from killing Nigerians. That's where they get the ranks from. Planning coup, overthrowing governments, and then rigging elections, killing innocent protesters. These are the qualities of things that gives them rank. Or then if you know people, you know, in power as well as all of them. So it's all about them. And they will never let go just like that. But somebody reminded us, even within the chamber, you remember this? There is a problem that they are all avoiding. There's something that created the problem, sustained it, including with what we are currently having. One thing, until there is no longer that fraudulent document, we will continue to go in circle. And like I asked, how many will need to die before Buhari is no longer there to use that power under this fraudulent paper?
Is the credo of our republic. It says unity and faith.
Just a moment. Before we go on to that, my friends who are watching on YouTube, right? I want you to use this moment while you leave the chat room to like that video, share it if you haven't already, okay? And my friends on Facebook as well. This is also a moment. You can just search for Maiyegun's Diary Politico on YouTube. Join there, subscribe. There's no difference. Same thing you spend, times you spent, and then what do you call it? The data you spent on Facebook is the same you spend on YouTube. I just thought I should add that before we proceed. Let's proceed.
Is the credo of our republic. It says unity and faith, peace and progress. The truth is, whatever a man sows, the same he will reap. And that goes for a family, that goes for a tribe, that goes for a nation, and that goes for a multinational republic such as Nigeria. When a nation or republic cannot keep faith with justice and with the truth, it will never achieve unity. It will never achieve peace. And it will never achieve progress. Mr. President, sir, one of us quoted from this constitution and went ahead to make prescription for how to move forward. I dare to tell this nation today that this is the problem. This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. This constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items. 68 on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list. And those 12 are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those concurrent lists. That is why those who want unity and peace in Nigeria must first remember that the name of our republic is not just Nigeria. The formal name of this republic is Federal Republic of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we don't run a federalist system in Nigeria. Otherwise, what is so unique about all those things that are in the exclusive list? We used to have a parliamentary system, and then we wanted unity, we wanted peace, we wanted progress, and we therefore said we are going to go with a presidential system. Honestly, there are many presidential systems in the world that have peace and progress. I can't quarrel with that. But we must put in place the same safeguards that presidential system across the world put in place so that you can have what it needs to run the society. In this chamber, we try to federalize the police system. In this chamber, we failed. We failed because we didn't summon the courage, the wisdom, the tenacity of purpose, and the vision, and the understanding of what is making nations across the world to work. A man from Otuko was the DPO in my local government when I was chairman. The man did not speak Igbomina in an Igbomina local government. The man did not speak Yoruba in a Yoruba local government. Every crime is local. And the solution to every crime is local. The earlier that senators in Nigeria summoned the courage to say, we should not continue to deceive ourselves. I know that police is costly. If we are going to allow some states to have police according to their own wishes, therefore, we must revisit the revenue formula, such as more money go to states.
More money towards it. That's the sweetest part. You realize that everything he's been saying is colleagues. They are not really amused. They are not really interested. It's just like, come on, you have the floor. Oh yeah, talk. But he raised some vital points, talking about security and what could have been, what used to be, and what could have been the primary solution to what is now spreading as like a wildfire, right? That is the future of Nigeria, or oneness of Nigeria, where the rest of the people from the rest of Nigeria, or everyone from all the part of Nigeria, who came together to say, we are facing this problem. When it comes to the solution for it, or who should be responsible, they differ. And then they will never find the same solution anyway, just that same way. And you continue to run a country like that. You continue to run a country like that. That somebody's just going to come around and do a turnaround, one holistic approach, boom, and everybody will just form the line. That is the impression of the likes of Obasanjo. And the question is, how many people will need to die? If you call for a new constitution, that simply means there must be an end to the current ongoing one. How is that different from asking for a revolution that also put a halt to a system that is killing people, and those who are responsible have become irresponsible, and nobody is going to be held responsible for it? A new constitution where people can then say, okay, before we continue to be part of this country, this will be our position. A referendum, this will be our position. Is that not what everyone is asking for? Why should you then become, or why should it become a treasonable offense
that even Oshibajo cannot explain.
Where we are today and why where we are today is because of 16 years of mismanagement of resources. That's the problem. That's why
you get it. Don't take offense. Do you get it?
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
16 years. And if you look at that 16 years of PDP that Toshibade is talking about, Obasanjo is involved. Obasanjo is always involved. That's why we are where we are today. Sorry about that. If you ask for a new constitution as part of the request, that's why if you go for any revolution now, right? Any revolution that becomes bigger, the demand of the people should be a new constitution. A new constitution will be an opportunity for everybody to now chip in whatever they want. And that will be the first start. Something that can force their hands. I don't know how soon that will be. You don't amend a fraudulent document that gives absolute power to one man, one organ, and let me say one arm of government over the rest of the country. It doesn't work that way. And that has brought us to where the likes of Obasanjo and co should know that, Baba, there's a time you should admit that you have failed. Many of those leaders that parade themselves, thanks to what Nigeria gave them, for those of them that are still alive. It was war for them too. They were killing themselves for power, for today, for the hilltop mansions that they gave to them, for the life pension that they are collecting, free citizenship of the world. They can travel the world wherever they want. They can write books and their friends will pay millions to buy them. It doesn't matter if their friends are never going to read their books, like the one they wrote in Lagos. As long as Nigeria pays the bill, it doesn't matter how. But if Nigeria is paying the bill in cash only, fine. But Nigerians are paying with their blood. So whatever it is holding Nigeria together is not in the interest of Nigerians, and they want to have that chat. I mean, if you ask everybody, or trust me, if they are not talking about 2023, if they are talking about, let's have a conversation around there, what is going on in Nigeria, what is your interest, opinion poll, as poor as they believe that they have beaten people into poverty, yeah? Some will tell you that they will prefer them. You get what I mean now? But Nigeria continues to pay the bills. Nigerians continue to pay with their blood. Until you realize that, you are likely never going to know. So that's why they lie effortlessly. When you ask them, what is one Nigeria? You are a veteran. You have been the president. You have represented Nigeria. You have made decisions. You have, Tell us, sir. If I see Baba, what do you call it? Somebody said we should change that name from Obasanjo. We should modify it. What did we agree to? Some said Obankparo, Olusegun Obankparo. And some said, well, I suggested, what about Otta, Albert Einstein? So whenever I say Otta, Albert Einstein, then you know we are talking about Obasanjo, the man that is the most brainiest, the man who knows what Nigeria don't know, the man who understands where Nigeria should be. But somehow, for 50 years, it's been failure. Unfortunately, we can't compare him to, well, again, it's up to you. It depends on whatever works for you. Obankparo, Otta Albert Einstein, and any other thing that comes to mind. We know they like to insult elders. In our own way, we don't insult them. But it depends on what you call an insult. For example, if we say Tifnumbu, some said it's an insult. And I'm like, come on. As a way you say, in Yoruba land, we have Agbalagba. Then we have Agbayas. Then we also have the Agbaushis. Yorubas did not create those. You see those words? Yoruba did not coin them because they didn't coin those words
out of the blues, there were those references, there were those that they saw. And Yoruba was like, you see, this one, Agbalagba, an elder. You see, this one is Agbaya, a useless old man or woman. You see, this one is Agbaushi, Agbaishe. I don't know the English of that. But some people shall know, but I'm a Yoruba man. So if you know that, they will never call a young man Agbaya. No. There are some Agbalagbas who are like Agbaya for the reasons, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm a Yoruba man. So you pick whatever suits or works for you, okay? So don't abuse them. We also have Agbaofu. Some say we have Agbaradarada. And then, you know, on and on. If these are Agba, in Yoruba land, these are the elders that have lost credibility, they've lost integrity, they lie unprovoked. Like Bisi Akonde. What would you call Bisi Akonde? What kind of Agbalagba would you call Bisi Akonde? Eh? So on and on like that. Do you get that now? So Akonde now wrote a book that he started lying effortlessly. Baba, who provoke you to lie? And though the lies, not that the lies affected me and you per se, but they were lying away from what they committed, which affected me and you. Some said, "Na agba oponu, agba iranu." Hey, agba jati jati. You see, Yorubas are here. They know these words. We play with these words because we have those agba ushi, agba. You know what I mean? So if you now say this person agba ushi, how can you say that person is an insult? Oh, okay. Maybe those words were created or coined by young people who have seen failures in people they expected responsibility from, but they are like older, irresponsible people who also fail to take responsibility. So maybe that is why we have the rancor. They say it's an insult. Don't insult an elder. You don't insult. If you want to grow old, don't insult an elder. Say farabale. Who told you that foolish people serve, not they grow old? Do you think all the foolish people die young? They say all smokers are liable to die young. Did you read it anywhere that foolish people are liable to die young? They grow old too. And you know what? Now, so people came to and they said, a fool at 40. If your foolishness enter 40 years, Baba, no hope for you. So don't worry. It's not an insult. It is a title. Bisi Akonde was lying effortlessly to the point that he provoked Baba Yuade Banjo. You know that old man? That man is over 90. Yeah? And Akonde, when he was, let me tell you something, right? In Akonde's book, one second, Zeke, thank you by the way, Zeke. Can Obasanjo, Obasanjo, that's a new one. Can Obasanjo please explain what he means by Nigerianness? Is he referring to being known globally for fraud or terrorism or defecating in public? Thank you. Maybe somebody will, you know what I mean? It's all fraud. Zazazu. I was reading that online today. Something called Zazazu. Zay. I'm still figuring it out, so guys. But I remember, I just found out that it has something to do with manipulation, fraud. So the Obasanjo and gang and the rest of them, what they are doing to you is called Zazazu or something. Tell me, who have you heard about that? Zazazuze. I'll come back to that. Unprovoked lies. Akonde said, when Buhari took over power through a coup in 84, Buhari's government rounded up the people they called corrupt politicians under Shagari's government. When they rounded them up
Akonde was one of them. In fact, during Buhari's trial, during Akonde's and the rest of them's trial by Buhari's tribunal, they found Akonde guilty as a thief. And he was sent to 42 years in jail. A thief, among others. When Akonde, well, it was Babangida who saved them. If not, Akonde that you see today, now retired prisoner, you foresee him. They say, you see that old man where they walk, where they shake there, that poor man there. He was a very strong man in 1980. He go jail for 42 years. Now pardon them give him after 25 years. So, because Akonde got back, Akonde became one of the fraudulent fighters for Yoruba people. You know, Nadeko, you know, all this Afenifere stuff. Now, in Akonde's book, since Buhari is the president now, and they are praying that somehow, the same magic they did for Buhari, they will do it for Tifnumbu. Akonde had to lie effortlessly. Tunde Idiagbon is dead. And Akonde, in his book, decided to blame Tunde Idiagbon for everything that he suffered under Buhari by exonerating Buhari. That you see all those things they said about Buhari jailing this person, killing these people, trying to kidnap these people from abroad. All those things, In Akonde's book, my participations, Akonde blamed Tunde Idiagbon and praised Buhari in the same way, unprovoked. Waiting, old man, why you dey lie? What is the reason? What do you want to achieve? Of course, he wants to achieve something before he dies by bringing Buhari Pro Max, Tifnumbu. So he had to also lie against other people in their circle. That was where Baba Adebanjo came in. Akonde trying to tell everybody how generous. Remember I told you how Tifnumbu became their godfather after Obasanjo kicked them out in 2003. And it was through their greed, Let me tell you that story shortly. In 2003, the Yoruba people, they listened to Afenifere, AD, Afenifere, all these people. And Yorubas were still kind of feeling the pain of the death of Abiola. So somehow, Yorubas were more like, at that point, even politically, traditionally, Yoruba were so close to publicly demanding for the breakaway from Nigeria. However, the new political arrangement, which made Bola Ige, the man who wrote the constitution of PDP, the man who wrote the constitution of AD, the people who actually founded the two first political parties that went into that election, Yorubas gave their votes to AD as Yoruba party. That was what gave birth to Tifnumbu and Gango, among other background play and everything. So in 2003, these Yoruba governors, after failing the Yoruba people, they knew, so arrogant, proud, and bunch of failures. They are still around, though. Some of them are still around, though. Some of them are dead. In fear, they went into an arrangement and agreement with Obasanjo. The Yorubas, they will vote for Obasanjo, PDP. And Obasanjo will tell all PDP to vote for AD. So in that confidence, they went into that election. On the day of election, they have told their people to vote Obasanjo, Omowani, Obasanjo, they vote for. As people went to poll, as they were voting PDP for president, they were thumbprinting PDP for governor. It was so late that they ended up calling it democratic coup. So that was when Tifnumbu became their godfather. All of them that didn't survive that onslaught. And all of them didn't survive except Tifnumbu. Ekiti, Ondo,
Adebayo of Ekiti. They went with it. Who was this guy before Agagu? Adefarati in Ondo. They went with it with that coup as well. Lamadeshino in Oyo, he was sacrificed. Who was this guy in Oshun? Bisi Akonde. So they became Tifnumbu's lackey. And Tifnumbu that survived and in charge of Lagos money. He became the automatic godfather. The only one who was then able to fund AD until he told them, I can't fund the AD anymore because he was not in control of that AD. And immediately Tifnumbu said he was going to start AC. These these guys, right? They were ready to join him. That was when they started pushing this, Yoruba that. Again, how they just changed Yoruba this, Yoruba that. Akonde now turn around to say the same benefit he enjoyed from Tifnumbu, Baba Ayo Adebanjo also benefited same. That even, in fact, in his book, he said, in fact, the house that Ayo Adebanjo, the leader of Fraternity, and the man that has told Nigeria that, listen, if you don't come together and convene national conference where everybody can go their separate way regionally, Nigeria is going to break up, no election. You shouldn't be talking about election. Bisi Akonde lied unprovoked in his book, and he said the house Ayo Adebanjo is living in Lekki was built for him by Tifnumbu because Ayo Adebanjo continued to pressure Tifnumbu to build him a house. You have to build me a house. Oh boy, the team can't provoke the old man to release the statement of how he actually made this money, and he challenged them. He said, listen, this is how I built my houses. So back in the days, now this you have to know if indeed now you get the money where you take do anything, not like Tifnumbu that converted half of Lagos properties into his own empire. Now appointed his cronies to head them under different proxy names. That the same thing Bisi Akonde was projecting on him. Bisi Akonde should come out and explain, how he managed to build his own residence in Oshun. So, guys, I'm going to read this word for word for the sake of this video, as usual. All right, a press statement from Baba Ayo Adebanjo. In fact, let's listen to this first. Then we will get to Baba Ayo's statement midway.
pé àwọn ilé tí mo ti ní nígbà tí mo jẹ́ mo ti kó fún ẹ wá ni mo tà mo láti ta gbogbo ẹ̀ àti ilé tí mo fi ilẹ̀ tí mo fi jogún láti ọ̀dọ̀ màmá mi àti ilẹ̀ táwọn lọ́wọ́ fún mi ní ilé olú nígbà tó wà láyé ni mo tà gbogbo àwọn ilé yẹn ara àwọn ilé tí mo tà yẹn àwọn náà ló ṣí ilé tó wà nínú ronú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìjọba ìbẹ̀rù tí wọ́n wá ń jọ ákìrì ibẹ̀ làwọn fẹ́ẹ́ ti ṣe mítì ibẹ̀ náà ni Àkàndé yìí ló máa ń fi ẹsẹ̀ rìn wá bá mi tó máa ń rìpọ́tù ní Bọ́lá Ìgbè ó ń gbé ṣẹlẹ̀ gbà yẹn ó ń ṣe agent pé ó ṣe mọ́ tó rọ̀ petrol station ó rọ̀ petrol station ní Àpápá ní àdì police station BP petrol station ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú bá wá gbájú ọ̀la bàbá nígbà ìṣòro ìyẹn tó wá ń pàtó yìí.
I'll come back to that. You know what Baba was saying there is that it's a shame that all his houses, which he sold at some point, some of the, including the land given to him by Awolowo, that most of his properties is at way back
in one of them where this Akonde always trek to come and see him, to report Bola Ige and all that. What happened is that old man that you just listened to there is all this first generation of lawmakers. Should I say the first republic lawmakers in Yoruba land? When you talk about Awolowo's policies, people who worked with Awolowo between 1954 and 1960, this man is one of them. But we'll come back to that. Let me read it to you. What he released as the statement in response to Bola, this old man, Bisi Akonde's lies. He said, about a week ago, last Thursday, 7th December, to be exact, at presentation of the book, My Participation by Chief Bisi Akonde, it was said that Bisi Akonde stated in the book that I brought pressure on Bola Tinubu to build the house for me. But since Bola Tinubu himself was present at the presentation, I expect him within a few days to refute such a malicious falsehood about me emanating from his man Friday, Bisi Akonde. I hold this view because Bola Tinubu, just some 3 years ago on the occasion of the presentation of my autobiography, saying it as it is, that for my incorruptibility and strength of character, Bola Tinubu would not have been governor of Lagos State in 1999. These are the Afenifere, the guys who actually made most of these guys in 98, 99, politically, genuinely. But that's a story for another day. Another day, rather. What then could he be demanding from me after his 2-term governorship to make me pressurize him to build a house for me when I did not get a naira from him before he became the governor? There has been a lot of pressure on me not to react to Bisi Akonde's tantrums. He is a neophyte, a beneficiary of a struggle he never took part in. I have been urged to keep to the adage, not to answer a fool less you reduce yourself to his level. But there is also an adage that says, answer a fool less he thinks he is wise. A lot has been said in the press and the social media to admonish tantrums. But I owe a duty to myself and to put the record straight for posterity about the big lie that Bola Tinubu built my house in Lekki for me. I therefore deny categorically that my house in Lekki was built with my resources through the sale of 3 developed properties, loan from GT Bank, and the sale of undeveloped landed property given to me by my late leader, Chief Obafemi Awolowo of blessed memory. The details are as follows. A 4-bedroom duplex with 2-bedroom flat enclosed with 2 undeveloped plots at 4 Block 14, Nuru Oniwo Street, Aguda Surulere, Lagos State. This is where I was living before moving to Lekki. The house was commissioned in 1972 by Chief Obafemi Awolowo. A wing of the duplex was once occupied by a staff of the security outfits known as Special Branch, headed then by the late Alhaji Hemdi Yusuf, who later became Inspector General of Police when General Olusegun Obasanjo was the head of state. It was later occupied by one of the wives of Chief Pius Akinyelure, who often visit his wife there in company of Senator Bola Tinubu. The gate of his property was first opened by Abacha security forces when Adeko was holding a send-off party for American Ambassador Walter Carrington in my house. I took the federal government to court for damages and I was awarded 1 million naira, which has not been paid till today by the federal government. Mr. Olisa Agbakoba San was my counsel. The house was sold to St. Bath Anglican Church, Aguda Surulere, 2-story building at Otedola Street, Surulere, Lagos State. I bought it through an estate agent by name Mr. Shiwoniku, who has relocated to UK. He has a brother in a legal, who has a brother who is a legal practitioner in Abuja. He said, the house was sold to a Ghanaian by name Mr. Akapo. He is still alive and he lives in one of the flats in the building. 4-story building with a warehouse on the ground floor and 6 flats on top. It was commissioned by Chief Awolowo in 1977. I inherited a plot of 45 by 100 from my mother, Salamotu Anomo Adebanjo, who built a bungalow on it. She bought the land when I was in primary school in 1940 from one Pa Idowu Onitiri for £20, which she paid by installment of £10, £7, and £3. His son, Akanbi Onitiri, executed the conveyance for me without extra payment after showing him the purchase receipt from his father when I was developing it in 1976. Akanbi Onitiri is the father of Sumbo Onitiri, a well-known estate surveyor in Lagos today. The building was sold to a woman through an estate agent. I then took a loan from GT Bank to complete the house in Lekki where I am living now. When the interest on the loan became unbearable, I was compelled to sell the undeveloped land given to me by Shifa Femi Awolowo in the Deolu estate in Morocco, Victoria Island. One Mr. Ade Otusonya, a friend of my son, Femi Ayo Adebanjo, bought the land. The contractor who built my Lekki house is engineer Akim Sulaiman, senior partner of Messiah H.A. Associates. The electrical and mechanical contractor is engineer Tokumbo Oshokoya, senior partner of Messiah's O'Share Projects. The architect is Mr. Deji Johnson. The quantity surveyor is late Otumba TB Adebayo. The Lekki property, the house in my village, is Sonya Ogbo, and 3-bedroom flat in a townhouse at Omorinre Street in Lekki are the properties I have in the whole world. I hereby authorize the EFCC to verify the above facts. It is alleged that Chief Bisi Akonde's building at Ilaorogun, which I understand is more than double in expanse of my house in Lekki, and some other properties he has in Lagos and abroad were financed by Bola Tinubu. His house in Ibadan was also alleged to have been built by the contractor that built the secretariat in Oshogbo when he was the governor of Osun State. I hereby challenge Chief Bisi Akonde to clear the air by disclosing the source of financing these properties as I have done above. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the great philanthropist, should also disclose the source of his wealth, with which he bankrolled the elections of APC in the Southwest and that of General Muhammad Buhari and his various properties in Lagos. He should also authorize the FCC to verify such details as I have done above. Thank you very much. God bless wherever. And then Shifayo Adebanjo. That's the press statement. Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba, okay? I want you to listen to this video again, because here he said a few other things that were not really listed as in his press statement. I'll do my best to interpret for my non-Yoruba speakers. And if you can do me that honor as you are watching that video, you can maybe start dropping that interpretation in the comments. It helps greatly. Watch this.
àwọn ilé tí mo ti ní nígbà tí mo jẹ́ mo ti fò fún ẹ wá ni mo ta mo láti ta gbogbo ẹ̀ àti ilé tí mo fi ilẹ̀ tí mo fi jogún láti ọ̀dọ̀ màmá mi àti ilẹ̀ táwọn lọ́wọ́ fún mi ní dídé olú nígbà tó wà láyé ni mo ta gbogbo àwọn ilé yẹn ara àwọn ilé tí mo ta yẹn àwọn náà ló ṣí ilé tó wà nínú ronú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìjọba ìbẹ̀rù tí wọ́n wá tọ́jú ákìrì ìbẹ̀rù àwọn abẹ́fẹ́ ti ṣe mítì ibẹ̀ náà ni Akande yìí ló máa ń fi ẹsẹ̀ rìn wá bá mi tó máa ń rìpọ́tù ní Bọ́lá Ìgbè ó ń gbé ṣẹlẹ̀ gbà yẹn ó ń ṣe agent pé ó ṣe mọ́ tó rọ̀ petrol station ó rọ̀ petrol station ní Àpápá ní àdì police station BP petrol station ìbẹ̀rù pẹ̀lú bá wá pàdé ọ̀la bàbá nígbà ìṣòro ìyẹn tó wá ń pàtó yìí ìyá Yorùbá ló máa ń yọ́lẹ̀ dá máa mú ara bẹ́ẹ̀ lé ìjọ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní APC pápá ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀dàlẹ̀ pọ̀ jù ìbẹ̀rù tí wọ́n bá mi àwọn náà ló ṣí kò pẹ́ tá a dé láti ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n tá a lọ sí Ghana tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ bó fẹ́ lónìí ìgbẹ́lá àwọn náà sọ pé ṣe ló tẹ̀lé sílé fáwọn ọmọ ìgbà tó kọ́ tó ṣílé ìbọn ló bá jẹ́ jẹ́ bòde ó ṣílé àmúwò ó wá ṣí tèmi gbogbo àti àbàdàn sẹ́wọ̀n nìyẹn o ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ilé kejì ti túta oníkan tí mo rà ní $100 ọwọ́ wa nù wéyìí ẹni tí ó ra lé yẹn lọ́wọ́ mi mo pè wá sí ìpàdé ó lè wá bí àwọn onírúurú ìròyìn wọ́n ya fọ́tò ẹ̀ wà mí ilé onípẹ̀tẹ́sì ní flat mẹ́ta ló wà mẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ àwọn kan náà dáhùn ní ghanaian ni gbàtọ́ lọ́wọ́ máa ṣe tí mo wádìí ó jẹ́ ṣì wà mẹ́ẹ̀ ìkan náà àwọn flat ilé yẹn ló ń gbé ìkẹta tí mo ta ilé màmá mi tó ti ra àgbà tí mo wà ní school ilé yẹn 1940 màmá mi rà ìṣòwò ní primary school 1940 ló rà lọ́wọ́ bàbá Onítìrí ẹ̀jẹ̀ bá jẹ́ ọmọ Èkó ẹ̀ máa gbọ́ Onítìrí kì í ṣe àkọ́bí o bàbá Ìdòwú Onítìrí ló rà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ní ogún pọ́ùn ilé yẹn 45 by 100 feet ni tí mo wà ló máa ń bá ń tẹ̀lé wọn lọ́gbàdá lọ́wọ́ bẹ̀ màmá kọ́ bọ́gà lọ sí ṣùgbọ́n gbàtí máa tún kọ́ tí ó fi kú Onítìrí òṣèré fún mo láti lọ bá kọ̀ bí ìyẹn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ à wọ́n kọ́ ní kí ìgbà yàrá ìdìbò ní dọ́kúmẹ̀tì ẹ̀dá gẹ́gẹ́ bí lọ́ọ̀yà àpapọ̀ pé tí ó bá rẹ́jísà purchase street yẹn evidence of payment ni kì í ṣe evidence of ownership tí bá dẹ̀ bá rẹ́jísà kẹ́wọ́n láti pàtó lẹ̀ tá ló dẹ̀ bá sáàyè fún mi wọ́n lọ bá.
ọ̀rọ̀ tó pọ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀ tó pọ̀ but like people are saying you see these people they are the same okay but somehow Baba Ayo Adebanjo even though he is not for Yoruba nation as well Nigeria somehow has really been good to them. It's just in different ways. But that doesn't mean that Akonde, the former petrol attendant, I didn't even know that Akonde was a former petrol station attendant, like supervisor. Baba didn't say he owned it. He said Akonde then was a petrol station manager, like somebody who is, supervisor, but also interested in politics aside also. So Akonde, that politics has now paid so well that he's become an ass licker, a boot licker to Tifnumbu. And Baba also said that, despite all we did for him, including his certificate, education and all of that, why would Akonde now turn around? What we did for Tinubu, why would Akonde now turn around to just lie against me? The old man is. But the bottom line is that they all know what they did, and they didn't do them for the sake of Yoruba people, even if they probably thought they did. Akonde that is lying unprovoked, he knows what he's doing too. Living off the system and bleeding the people that they claim to be representing. I told you how they became the lackeys for Tifnumbu and why they would remain his ass licker for the rest of their old miserable lives. Akonde and gang. I told you. It's a lifeline. Just same way Obasanjo will continue for the rest of his life. He will continue to see that Nigeria remains one. It's not because he has any power to keep Nigeria one. He doesn't have any power to stop the breakup of Nigeria. But his position till he dies is still going to be Nigeria should remain one because of all those personal reasons. And like Akonde, like the rest of them, they are not representing the Yorubas. So when they became Tifnumbu's lapdogs, using old age to deceive other gullible idiots that actually listen to them. Some people don't like that. They were like, Maiyegun, don't call them idiots. Oloribu. You think because I've been trying to speak, I forget that.
be idiot will tell you be idiot. There's a reason for that. You get why? Tifnumbu that is plotting his political scheme. Akonde the liar, the ass licker, continue to regurgitate, say the same thing, even though he had no clue. You know what they did in 2011? PDP, they said they zoned speakership to Southwest, since Goodluck Egbere Jolantan will be the president. And then this guy from Benue, remind me his name, former soldier as well, will be the Senate president. David Mark, I think. Was he? So, Akonde, a woman from Osun, should be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. 2011, no. Tifnumbu was plotting his political scheme, not for Yoruba people, but for himself. What did he do? Aregbe Mugbo, Akonde, the rest of them, they took a flight, Abuja straight. And you know the story, oh. That was how Tifnumbu of ACN and his gang, they decided to sponsor Tambuwa. That was how Tambuwa became the speaker. They used everything they had, everything, to cut down any Yoruba person becoming that speaker, because they could do it. They knew they were dealing with a weak Jonathan, the one they call weak anyway, politically. They were Yorubas, oh. They moved to Abuja, spent millions of their money they stole from Yoruba land to sponsor Tambuwa from Sokoto to become the speaker. You know the rest of the story. The Lagos Saboba coups. Yeah? They didn't see that as number 3 in their political arrangement, number 3 person in Nigeria, a woman or a Yoruba woman. There's no pride in that, because Tifnumbu knows that that is going to make that person a political heavyweight against whatever he's plotting towards 2015, when he thought he would have a chance of either becoming president or vice president. So having a speaker from there, that's going to alter that. He moved his own Yoruba criminal representatives who claim to represent Yorubas, and they voted for Tambuwa. And they then used the next 4 years to tell Yorubas how PDP and Jonathan marginalized Yoruba people. And they sold. PDP lost, Jonathan lost 600,000 votes of Yoruba votes for that singular act. Smart? Not so smart. Selfishness, greed, self-centeredness of these guys. It wasn't smart after all. 7 years down the line, look at us, look at Nigeria, look at our people, look at the youth, look around you. Selfishness of selfish people. And they are positioning themselves, deodorizing their stench to look new, good, because they have something for you. Again, when they don't. Let me open the line. Some of you are dying to phone in. I've been checking my phone and realized that some of you, I didn't plan to, but it will be fun to hear from 1 or 2 people tonight. Obasanjo has made it clear he has no apology for any of us. Some said, Maiyegun, we have no get any apology for Obasanjo. Somebody that cannot tell us what is one Nigeria, what is oneness of Nigeria. He couldn't describe it without putting himself in that picture, because it works for him. He's a good example. But what about the 34,000 people killed in Borno State in the last 10 years alone? They are not as lucky as Obasanjo or Bankparo, right? So I'll keep the rest of our minute, which is going to be about 30 minutes or 35 minutes. Let's manage the time. If you phone in, make sure it's just WhatsApp call. Meanwhile, listen to this so somebody gets a suggestion for how to end the banditry, the terrorism. And it is no other person, their national representative or national commissioner.
The problems Nigerians have, we have long-term problems and we have immediate problems. Long-term problems, when people talking about constitution, revenue, allocation formula, all these are long-term problems. But today, now, we are facing a Frankenstein, a monster we created ourselves. And Ijomani would say, it's a second-class Nigerian. He's treated as a second-class Nigerian. Let's accept. But do you know that there are also third-class Nigerians? When you talk about graduates not having jobs, and this is a time bomb, how about a chunk of Nigerians, a big population of millions that has no even a primary school education? How will they cope? And this political, socio-economic, ecological disarray that is facing the nation. So this third-class people now is the Frankenstein that we're facing. They respect no religion, they respect no ethnicity, they respect nothing. People talk about a boss burnt in Sokoto State by bandits. When we all know bandits initially, they don't kill people like that, they kidnap people to get money. So what has metamorphosed and turned them into a Frankenstein, a monster that is now trying to kill people just like that for the pleasure of it? Have you asked for 1 second? They have women too. They have children too. Have you asked for 1 minute that what happens to their children when we are bombarding their rugas? What happened to their children when we are bombarding rugas? You are talking about when they kidnap school children. Don't you ask, okay, which school their children go to? Because we don't have answers to this, that's why we are surprised. But if we have embraced them as Nigerians and extend to them what we extend to Nigeria, or at least give them hope, just hope, you'll see a difference. And this is what we learned when we ventured there. It's not an irretractable problem. It can be solved. But we need the right political environment to do it. Many people, like the kind representative is talking about military actions. We are here for peace. And we have seen that peace can tame this Frankenstein. I've seen it. What we need to do is to build, like the Global Peace Foundation and Vision Africa, what they have been doing around the world, like building homes and schools, giving locals animals to breed, giving them medical.
I know it is kind of, psychologically stressful listening to him. It's the same, rhetorics. Give them schools. You cannot, if soldiers bomb them, have you thought about their children? Have you thought, when you said they kidnap school children, have you thought about their own children if they go to schools at all? All these things are supposed to be our concerns. And since we don't care, the price of us getting kidnapped or killed is not too much to pay until we care. And the people who are supposed to care, who are getting paid to care, they don't. So it's our fault, according to these guys. So I'm going to take just 1 or 2 calls, okay? I'm going to call it a night. Hopefully, we'll have a chance of starting early enough tomorrow, hopefully. So I've got my first caller. Let's see. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Maiyegun.
Good evening. One name. How are you?
No, my name is Adeleke.
You know what one name is, by the way, right? My brother, it means, but I'm going to say Adeleke and stick to that. How are you, sir?
Okay. Oh, I'm very fine.
Great. Where are you calling from, if I may ask?
From France.
You're calling from France. So you have the floor and you're live, please.
You know, Maiyegun, our problem is, I can tell you, Awolowo caused Yoruba problem. Awolowo and his disciples, Jakonde, Bola Ige, Ajasin. Do you know why?
Tell me, sir.
After independence, 3 months after independence, a Yoruba man raised it that let us follow India and Pakistan way. They refused. A Yoruba man, it's lack of foresight. A Yoruba man, when I remember his name, I will call you, I will tell you. He told them, let us follow Indian Pakistan way. They refused. You know what happened? After the West here, Operation West here, Fulani jail all of them.
That's true.
If they follow the Yoruba man advice, Fulani will not come and jail them in Oduduwa land. Never.
Absolutely not.
Never. Fulani will not come and jail them in Yoruba nation. I don't know what they want with one Nigeria. See where we are today. Tell me all Awolowo achievements have been destroyed. United Nations, UI, Lagos, all the roads, Cocoa House, all the
settlements, everywhere
have been destroyed. All what Awolowo labored for have been destroyed. Where are we today?
Nowhere.
Let us follow India and Pakistan where they say no, they want to die in one Nigeria. See what we are facing today now. See what we are going through. One Nigeria. Where are we today?
The sad thing is that
all Awolowo labor have been destroyed.
The sad thing is that nobody can define one Nigeria. They can't really define it. Something that we can say, okay, this is.
Tell me, what did Awolowo labor for? Destroyed by Fulani. Let us go and say no. Let's assume they don't know. A Yoruba man asked them, let us follow India and Pakistan where they refuse. I will search for the man name. I will tell you.
Thank you so much, sir. Let me take another.
After 6 months, after some time, the Yoruba man died. The Yoruba man died. Who killed him? Do you think a Fulani killed him? No. Now we like what they are doing to Igboho today. Do you think Fulani man killed the man? No. Now we as what they are doing for Igboho today. We have a long way to go, Yoruba people. God help us.
Amen.
Good day, Maiyegun.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very good start, by the way. And as he was talking, this is what came to my mind, and I think I should share that with you. One moment.
Malamala. Mo bojú ayé o ayé ṣá malamala. Mo máa bójú ọ̀run òkùnkùn ló ṣubúlẹ̀. Mo máa bójú ọ̀run òkùnkùn ló ṣubúlẹ̀. Mo ní ẹ̀ẹ́rẹ́ yìí o. Kíni dé sí Yorùbá o ọmọ aráyé? Kíni ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Yorùbá o ọmọ Oòduà o? Yeyeyeyeyeyeye. Àwa máa ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ là ń bẹ. Yorùbá ń ṣera wọn nítorí owó. Yorùbá ń jìra wọn lẹ́sẹ̀ nítorí ipò. Wọ́n gbẹ̀mí fáláre, wọ́n gbáre pẹ́lẹ́bí. Wọ́n kò lè kó wájà, wọ́n tún kó lóko wá mú. Ọgbọ́n tí wọ́n gbọ́n ló gbé wọn délé ọlá. Ọgbọ́n náà ló tún padà wá sílé wọn mọ́lẹ̀ o. Àwọn tí wọ́n ti ń ṣọ̀gá lọ́jọ́ tó ti pẹ́. Tún padà wá dẹni à ń fọwọ́ ti sẹ́yìn o. Yóò Yorùbá yoyoyo bí iná alẹ́. Yorùbá rúrúrú bí omi òkun. Yorùbá bàbá ni bàbá ń ṣe. Yóò Yorùbá ronú o. Yorùbá sọra wọn di bọ́ọ̀lù fáráyé gbá. Wọ́n bá gbá wọn sókè, wọ́n tún gbá wọn sísàlẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yà tí ó ti kéré tẹ́lẹ̀ ni wọ́n gé.
Thank you for that. I have somebody on the line. Hello.
Hello, yeah, Maiyegun. How you doing now?
I am fine, Baba. How you doing?
Yeah, it's nice talking to you.
It's a pleasure.
I'm
Your
going to
name,
start
by the
by,
way,
I'm going to
because you're
thank
live
you,
now.
Maiyegun. You know, my name is Tuji from Plumstead.
TJ from Plumstead. You are live, brother.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. First is, you know, Maiyegun, you don't support violence.
I don't.
But what we are calling from, what we are calling for, we are against violence. And there's no way on earth we're going to get it peacefully. Are you telling me, Maiyegun, if you are attacked, you won't defend yourself?
I will. Absolutely.
I will. Okay, good. Fantastic. Now let me go on to OBJ. OBJ, I'm from Abeokuta. I've lived in Ibadan for a very long time, but I'm in UK. But you see, anything Obasanjo lay his hand on is pure bad luck. I'm telling you, I've known the man for a very long time. And my best friend knew that anything, the moment they mention Obasanjo, I'll just change the telly. The man is too evil. I'm telling you, it's too evil. If you ask Obasanjo a hypothetical question about how Odudua is going to look, he doesn't know. And he says he's more Nigerian than Odudua. Who the hell is he? Who is he representing? Everybody, most people that have worked under Obasanjo when he was in government, most of them are supposed to be in jail by now. Absolutely. Even that includes Obasanjo himself. All this Fayose, all this Mimiko, all of them, they need to gather all of them up because they knew about Bola Ige. Who killed Bola Ige? They got away with it. Even Tinubu that is talking about Swagger, he has a case about, what's that name? Giwa or so. So all these people that have been ruling
Funshaw
all of them supposed to be in jail.
TJ, are you talking about Funshaw Williams?
Funshaw Williams, yes. And he has the gut now, he wants to be president. Yeah, they have ruined people's life. They have ruined people's life. Most of the people that are brought today is because of what they have done.
God bless you.
And you see, that stupid man that is going, Obasanjo, you know, one of our problems is respect in Nigeria. If Obasanjo, when Buhari came to see David Cameron there, his hand was behind him, talking to Cameron. I don't know if you see that picture. He was right behind him. But how old is Cameron? How old is Boris Johnson? How old is Macron? How old is Trudy? None of them is up to 60. They are talking that Obasanjo is doing errand boys, telling people that is working for Europe. Àwọn ọmọ inú ẹ̀rọ iṣẹ́ kiri, òun fò kiri, òun jókòó pẹ̀lú terrorists, òun run ìlú tiẹ̀ down, and they will be saying, oh, you're the leaders of tomorrow. Did they give us the space to come in and take over?
Too many questions.
And they will tell you, oh, respect your elders. Who are they? Say, Oni of Ife ni ma respect ni. How old is Oni of Ife? Who is Oni of Ife? Everybody, I'm telling you, if UK wants 10 million people from Nigeria tomorrow, it will take them 24 hours. 24 hours. Look at Dubai. Dubai came to Nigeria to exploit all our doctors. And they're talking about one Nigeria. All those doctors that left Nigeria, where are they from? Are they not from the south? So the country is empty. That stupid old man is going up and down. He's talking about Nigerianness. He's not representing Yoruba. He should go to hell.
Thank you, TJ. Let me take another call too. Thank you very much.
No problem.
That's Omar Dugbomi. He's from Abeokuta. I'm from Ijebu. And trust me, he couldn't have said it better. I have another person on the line. Hello. Oh, give me a sec. Let me get you on the real line. Yeah. Good evening to you. Your name, please.
Yeah, my name is Moses. I'm coming from the UK.
Moses, you said, yeah?
Yes.
Great. So,
from the
Moses,
UK.
So you are live, please. Go on.
Maiyegun.
Sir.
To buttress what the last caller said, he said the respect is part of the problem we have in Nigeria. Until what happened in Ghana in 1981 and 82 happened in Nigeria, Nigeria is not going to change. All those so-called big men in Yoruba land, they need to be arrested jailed and killed. If not, Nigeria is not going to be peaceful. They are the main problem of Nigeria.
Please elaborate.
Look at Obasanjo, for instance. Obasanjo was the old president. He came to become new president.
That's right.
Anything Obasanjo did was wrong. Everything. Everything Obasanjo did was wrong.
And you know one thing, he's involved almost in everything, by the way. He's always involved.
Obasanjo is a wizard. He's the one ruling Nigeria. Until all those people, until they get them off, Nigeria will never exist. You guys are telling us we are the future. What is the future? When?
Leaders of tomorrow.
The future is now. Can you imagine? The future is now. And I want to encourage all the youth. Let's rally together. Let's form one stronghold and get rid of all these old men. If not, there's no future for Nigeria. I used to believe in Nigeria until years back. Let me tell you this story. Now, I have a brother in Nigeria.
Please.
It was in front of a shop. Now, a police car parked, and they brought out two people. And one of them pointed to my brother. Now, the police went, arrested my brother. Okay. In fact, it was a university student. In front of my dad's shop. He was arrested, took to the police station. No questioning. The next day, he was taken to court. Can you imagine? 3 days after he was supposed to be jailed. He didn't do anything. He's a student.
For what?
Now, one of them now came to.
For what crime? Or what?
Maiyegun, no knowing. I think they went for a robbery.
Right.
And one of them, whether the police took money from them,
right,
or one of them escaped. So they're looking for somebody to balance the person. Just imagine.
Right.
They now picked this guy up. One of them now said he wasn't part of them anymore. What is the agility?
And
my blood brother is not somebody else.
Thinking about the other people who have been jailed like that. Let me also share one story with you.
Exactly.
Moses. Let me share one story with you. This one is very recent. Yeah, you must have read about these 15 people that got released after spending 14 years in jail. And a man who got picked up in front of his shop in Oka. He just told his own boys in his shop that I'm coming back now. I'm going to so person's shop. When I get back, I want you to let me pack all this and get them ready. He never came back. 15 years after that, he got a freedom just last month in November 2021. They accused him of being a member of MASOP, the Biafran agitators of that time. 15 years, and they, nothing. They found nothing on him, absolute nothing, and that's it.
The wisdom is life. Until we get rid of all these top men, Nigeria will never be peaceful. Look at what we say Ghana is peaceful. This is what Rollins did in Ghana. They killed all of them. If they didn't kill Nigeria will never be peaceful. I'm telling you. Markets on the wall. Nigeria will never be peaceful until they get rid of all those witches and wizards.
Thank you so much, Moses. Let me take another call. Just while we manage our time as well tonight. It's been a pleasure talking to you, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
Stay safe, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye, man. So I have another caller. It seems that friends from the UK seems to be getting the front lead on the queue. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Maiyegun.
Good evening to you, sir. Your name, please.
My name is Olu. I'm calling from London.
Olu from London. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
Yeah, it's so heartbreaking hearing from Obasanjo again. I want to believe God gave him 2 chances. He blew it the first chance. He blew it the second time. This third time, he's just, as you said, he's just everything you mentioned about Nigeria is just his presence there. And this time around, he's not doing a good job yet again. And who is now believing that anyone from Nigeria is going to be instrumental to the release of a Sunday Igboho we are all joking. So I concur with people who are clamoring for hiring people from outside to actually do the bidding for that guy in Benin. Look at the cronies. Look at all of them. Their hegemony in all over the place. Their dominance is just all over the place. They are not interested in a new thing coming from that nation. And everybody clamoring for a new nation or a rebirth. They are not interested because everything they have ever been benefiting will be taken away from them. And that's their fear. Because it has to be taken away from them. Look at my friend who is an architect. He said he got to Agbo and they said this is Obasanjo expanse of land.
That's right.
The indigenous don't even have that kind of land in their own space. So this kind of a thing will be taken away from them. All these unlawful benefit that they have ever enjoyed will be taken away from them. And that's why you will ever believe in one Nigeria. And what is Nigerianness, for crying out loud? You are copying what you do. You cannot even define.
Nobody can
explain
to us. You are older, right?
What?
Olu, right? You are old. I mean, you are older man. You are not a kid. I am older man in my own little way. I'm not a kid. And if my kid asks me, Daddy, who is a Nigerian? I will have to make something up or tell him the truth. You know what? Nobody is Nigerian, right? Or I will make something up and say, well, we Nigerians, we are but most importantly, right? And disappointingly too, when you start to try to make up something to say, this is what Nigeria means, you find yourself describing your tribe, describing where you come from, where you've been, and all those. Nothing to really attach to Nigeria. Nothing.
There's no homogeneity in Nigerian Nigeria history. There's no homogeneity. You cannot say this is what Nigeria is or who is a Nigerian. That is what it is. Let us go our different ways. Let us have a rebirth. Let us live and let live. Live and let live. Let everybody live like human beings. And they come to Europe, they go to America, they travel over the world. Is this how they make their own country to be? What are we enjoying outside Nigeria? We're not picking dollars or pounds on the street, but you live like a human being. Your right cannot be overridden, even by the law enforcement agent. They want to arrest you even if you are contraband. You will see the kind of respect they will give you. Until that kind of a thing. Look at what they did in Ole's house. And they still float. In fact, it's a disgrace.
They are still keeping
they killed two people.
Do you know that? They are still keeping the bodies of the people they killed at Oloyegbo's house. They are still keeping the bodies.
I guess they have dumped them in the river. According to one video I saw, they said the cronies that they use said they normally dump those bodies in a river. Maybe they have dumped them in the river in Osun State. I don't know, near Ejigbo or somewhere. He mentioned in one of those videos.
Under Buhari, under Buhari, nothing is impossible. So I'm never going to say no, because why would you keep the body of people you killed, murdered? That's a murder, right? Why would you keep them in the morgue and their families have no access to them for 6 months? So I'm never going to say probably that is not true, but I hope it's not, honestly speaking.
I hope so too.
Thanks so much, Olu, for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll take one more call just before we go. Hopefully, hello.
Hello, Maiyegun.
Hello, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm fine.
Your name, sir?
Are you still alive?
You're alive, sir.
That's very good. That's very good.
And please, you need to help me turn. You need to help me turn down the volume of your device that you are watching with. Okay, because you are live now. Everyone can hear you.
Yeah, I've off it already. I just
fantastic. Your name, sir?
My name is Samuel Ido.
Samuel.
I'm calling from the US.
Oh, from the US. Thank you so much. Go on.
You see the guy that say something before this last guy, Abeokuta guy.
Yes.
That guy, he doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't know what he's saying. Maybe he's a small boy. Awolowo did the right thing that time, they are all, even though if it's you at that time, that is what you will do, that Nigeria, one, they don't know left or right than to make it as what our ancestors do, all these British and co. That is what they can do. But later, he did the best. He did his best. That is why we all anybody at 60, 80 now, that's why they go public primary and secondary school. Whichever again did that. See what this stupid Molams, see what they did now. They make sure they turn the school to the government school and ruin everything.
Ruined everything.
In West. See how they ruin everything, including everything that Awolowo did. So all those people doing the UPN, they try. And all the West is well okay. We have first TV in all Africa. Even we get TV before the France.
That's right.
We have the best.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you short. Really sorry to cut you short. There.
Yeah.
So what happened is, I think what my contributor was saying back then was that every good ideas, every beautiful dreams, and good work that Pa Awolowo did, they were easily rubbished. Because even if he didn't see why, even if he didn't see why we should break away from Nigeria and go the India-Pakistan way, right? That somebody raised the alarm. You know, sometimes you don't know everything, right? So when somebody raised an alarm and say, maybe that person saw the future of where we are today, right? But again, it wasn't like rubbishing what Awolowo did. It was just like that singular move could have saved us all of this today. You know what I mean now? But again, you have your position on that.
I give kudos to those Papa Awolowo and all these people working with him there. See how Tinubu that Awolowo raised, see what he's doing. See how he turned all the Lagos state to his own.
Personal property.
I have somewhere in Lagos that I have a shop since 1979. He took over the place. That is Apapa Amusement Park. Maybe they might have taken you there. Anywhere from both Ibadan or Lagos, from Benin, people are bringing children every Christmas by this Christmas period.
Amusement Park.
All the children we born after that place, they have become grandma
today.
So see, he turned that place to his own after the man that get that place dead. He said he already bought it. Because the Lagos State didn't sell the land for the man. They give the man the land on what they call it? What do they call it?
What's that?
So Tinubu turned the place to his own till now.
And what did they build on that? What did they build there now? What did they build there now?
He brought the Chinese. He brought the Chinese to bring another new some equipment, join the one that was there,
right.
And they started using it again at Papa Amusement Park.
They just took it.
That is where they take children go during the Christmas, Easter, all the festivals. That is where they carry children go.
Right. So what they did was that, they took it away from Jews. Yeah.
That place supposed, even though if that man died, he doesn't have children. It's supposed to be the Lagos State property.
Not Tinubu's property.
But now it's Tinubu's property.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let me take one more call just before we round it up tonight. Okay. Thank you so much for calling in, and you have a good a good evening.
I have something for you, but I've never sent it. I will send it. Maybe I send it through Koiki. I have something.
Thank you. Thank you
this
very much.
Our Yoruba Nation Slovenia. I have it for you.
That's amazing. If I can get my hands on them, it will be great.
Send it to Koiki.
Koiki will get it to me. Yeah, he will get it to me.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you so much, sir.
Koiki will send it to you. Thank you. All right.
You have a good one. So I have one more call. Let me take one last call. Just enough now, okay, before we round it up. Hello.
Yeah, Maiyegun, good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, Maiyegun. Thanks for the good job you're doing, Maiyegun.
Thanks you. I mean, thanks so much.
Maiyegun, one thing I want to say about this our leaders, like what the previous second to the previous caller said, we are giving them too much respect without expecting it back from them. So they think it's entitlement. If anybody, what we're saying is respect, but we never go to dictionary to define what is the meaning of respect.
And it should be.
So is this, yes, and we keep. This is what is putting us down. Everyday respect. Everyday respect. The elderly one you're respecting doesn't know that respect is reciprocal. He should give it back. And why will you be respecting somebody that doesn't give a damn about you? For what reason? To achieve what? Because he's older than you. Then you will be respecting him. That's all. Somebody that wants you dead and you keep respect, you keep lying down for him because he's older than you. I don't get it. Look at what we are doing now. Look at go together now this December. All this America, let me use that language. All these slaves in America, Holland, in UK, all of them are going together for Christmas. You want to tell me that if they have Yoruba nation, Biafra nation, that all these people that have link with Yoruba every Christmas, would they come back home? Do you know how much revenue Yoruba will be getting every time they come?
I can only
that
imagine.
One alone will run the country. But we keep doing this one Nigeria. Look at Obasanjo sitting there with Gumi. What level, what category of relationship or friendship Obasanjo has with Gumi to sit down one place and start talking about future of people? I don't get it, Maiyegun.
It is what it is. You know what people do tell me. They said that Maiyegun, we don't know how you are surviving it because we bet that you actually think a lot about Nigeria before you come on your programs and all that. They are thinking about Nigeria is affecting their mental health and it's affecting other things that they stop thinking about Nigeria completely. How do you do it? And I just saw that frustration there now when you kept talking. You got to a point and you felt like, oh man, like, yeah.
Anytime I talk about Nigeria, at some point you will see that I'm losing voice. I will start getting. It's like I'm so annoyed. Like it can be.
You are not alone.
You can never talk about it, but that is why Maiyegun, I respect you so much, especially you among all these people broadcasting, because your things is always constructive. You calm down. Sometimes I would be wondering, but I know it's a gift anyway, because honestly, I call you John the Baptist for the beginning, because the way you're giving the name, I say no, this Maiyegun is baptizing them.
Some people don't like it, and like you said, they said I'm disrespecting them. Too much respect, Baba. Too much respect.
Maiyegun, if we never define what is respect, then we will keep. No, we need to Maiyegun. Enough is enough, man. For how long we respect? What do we achieve? Nothing. This time, no. It's enough.
Thank you
Maiyegun,
so much.
Keep the fire burning, Maiyegun. Anybody that doesn't listen, any deaf and dumb will later hear you. Believe me.
Because if we have to use sign language, my brother, we will use it. Trust me. Whatever it will take until everybody comes to that conclusion that, oh boy, if let's not get the message, we need to act. Until then, Baba, if you require sign language to come here and say, we'll go through them. I go learn them. Thank you so much for your time. Right?
I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I know your best is here to come.
So much.
Believe me.
I know. Thank you.
Because believe me. Thank you a lot anyway.
You have a good evening.
Keep it up,
and one thing you left out of this whole beautiful roundup tonight is your name. And I know probably that's on purpose. I would love to know your name again before you go.
My name is Bob from Amsterdam.
Bob from Amsterdam. Guys from Amsterdam are kind of different breed, but the story is not for today, not for another day. Bob, you have a good evening. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And to everyone as well, I'm going to say thank you. It's been a nice, I told you it's going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting if I open the line, but time is not on our side. Some will say, Maiyegun, why can't you just stay on? Do you know that in Nigeria right now is already 12 o'clock, midnight. In, where else? So let's round it up from here, okay? Obasanjo has spoken his mind. You should respect and know that. You shouldn't, by any means, be dissuaded or, detached from the right thing that we all ask for. Equality, fairness, justice. Where there is justice, right, there will be less strife, there will be less problem. Or if those who are saddled with that responsibility continue to make it a choice of milking it, monetizing it, then turning around because of their selfishness to tell us to endure it, live with it, it won't last long. Same thing they told our parent. They told your parent. They told my parent that Nigeria will be better one day. Nigeria go better. Nigeria go better. Some of us don't become parents now. The same guys are positioning themselves because they care for us. They care about our future. When I was a little boy, the future they were talking about. When you grow up, when you become man of yourself, you, this boy, Sheyi, you see all this, you are not listening. When you grow up, when you become man of yourself, you will realize this and that. Baba, I don't become man of myself. I don't grow up now. I realize that among other lies they told me that I'm the future leader. Trust me, even in me right now, with the way Nigeria is structured, I no get future to any leadership there. You know it too. We all know it too. But they lied to me. Are you going to let them lie to your children? So if Obasanjo says Yoruba nation is not him, he's right. But for Obasanjo to say you should feel same because of Nigeria, you should question that. And if you have been so kind of packed, cut off, you know, like a bonga fish, dry bonga fish that can no longer be straightened up, but they use your brain. Don't pass that symptom to your children. Don't make your children face what you are facing right now. In 20 years' time, they are going to be parents too. And when they become parents, they will have half of their life, if not more than half of their life, trying to figure it out. Waiting the shell. Which country be this? How did I find myself in Nigeria? Just like many youth are figuring it out, and they can't find the answer. In that rubbish, in that midst, the leaders who brought us to that level, they can't take us out of it. Liberate your mind, clear your mind. If they say Nigeria is not working, we know why. And they start with the fake constitution you have. If that still exists, that gives give a tyrannical power to criminals as long as they grab the center. It doesn't matter where they come from. Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, though some will say, Maiyegun, no, they talk like that. Igbo man never become elected president. So if they count them, no, they count Igbo. I agree with you. So we can say we never know what an Igbo president would do, which is true. You have never elected an Igbo president. So fine. But you have elected Igbo governors many times. Can you pick any one of them that you think, this one, if you go to this state, you go to say, you know, the Nigeria. Yes. It is that same product that they will give to you on a larger scale. Now, Nigerianness. That's Nigerianness. That's one Nigeria. Oneness of Nigeria. The choice is yours, whichever one that works for you. Some are demanding for referendum. Others are demanding for an immediate constitutional change, which will allow room and give room to everything that should be legal. Everything they illegalize will be legal. For example, if you insult the president like I do, that's treasonable. If Malamu and gang capture me, if they grab me right now as a person of interest, but not treason, now shoot aside. Trust me, if a wrong day, then take my take my fight to Buhari and gang with the way the fraudulent 1999 constitution empowered these criminals for insulting Buhari. Now death by hanging. Imagine somebody puts rope for my neck because I insulted Tinubu, I insulted Buhari, or so they feel like I insulted Obasanjo and the rest. That's the judgment too. It is because that fraudulent paper allowed them to do it. People are asking for different things. All you can tell in this is that Nigeria is not working. Those who made that happen,
they had so kind of resistance to change. If you believe them for whatever they say, that blood that is keeping it together for now, that is making them who they are now, that flowing blood is the blood of the innocent people you read about every now and then. You don't know their name, but they tell you they died, they get killed anyway. But since it's not you, it's not one of you, you have no idea. But it's all up to you. Obasanjo does not speak for me. And I bet he doesn't speak for the majority of the Yoruba people as well. Same thing with Tifnumbu, right? These guys don't speak for anyone but themselves. You believe them at your own peril, at your own expense, in your own peril. So thank you so much, friends. We have almost 2,000 of us on YouTube tonight, quite a number. But we only have about 600 of you who could say, Maiyegun, well done. You know what? YouTube, they've removed dislike button. I don't know why, but they said some YouTubers, they give them mental health wahala, because if they realize that after putting all the effort, after speaking glowingly, some people can't, they put down. They say they affect Onyibo mental health. But you know me, nothing they affect my mental health anymore. Thinking about Nigeria alone makes you know that before anything else will rubbish your brain and make you get mental health problem, you must have been through a hell other than that of Nigeria. But that of Nigeria can make you get ready. So listen, there's no dislike button there anymore, okay? You can still give a thumb up. Like that video. And then I'm going to see you some other time. Subscribe on that YouTube channel if you can. And on my Facebook pages as well. Like, share, and comment. I'm going to see you some other time. So good night to you all.
Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àníyàn súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́.